Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Tuesday, August 19th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION-NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Tuesday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, is our left fielder stud, Randy Arozarena. And on the right, a guy that can hit home runs on any given day, DHing star, Kyle Schwarber. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, DHing today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Sitting at 47 home runs, will he hit 48 and tie Salvador Perez, or possibly hit 2 and break the record tonight? We will see. Batting third, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, third baseman, good vibes only, Geno Suarez. Batting fifth, playing first base, Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, catching today for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. Batting seventh, playing second base, Jorge Polanco. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And batting ninth, playing right field, Dylan Moore. And back on the mound after missing many weeks with a 2-5 record and ERA of 5.73, it is Bryce Miller. It's Miller time, baby. And we wouldn't expect him to be lights out in his first start, and many weeks after an injury to his back as well as his elbow. So again, this is going to be challenging. It can't get any worse than it did yesterday. And hopefully Bryce doesn't pitch like Logan Gilbert from yesterday's performance. And, again, if he gives up 3 runs or less and the bats can come alive, and hopefully we can match the same type of intensity as Philadelphia, hopefully we'll have a chance late in the matchup. Let's go, Bryce. And now let's get into the starting lineups for the home Philadelphia Phillies. Leading off for the Phillies at shortstop, Trey Turner. Batting second, DHing for Philadelphia, Kyle Schwarber. Batting third, playing first base, Bryce Harper. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for the Phillies, JT Realmuto. Batting fifth, playing third base, Alec Bohm. Batting sixth, playing left field, Brandon Marsh. Batting seventh, playing right field, Nick Castellanos. Batting eighth, playing center field, Harrison Bader. And batting ninth, playing second base, Bryson Stott. And on the mound with an 11-4 record, an ERA of 2.45, one of the top 5 pitchers in MLB this year, and probably the most underrated in MLB overall, Christopher Sanchez. Tridents up, let's go M's. And then a little update on Victor Robles. Obviously, with that bat throwing incident, the MLB cracked down pretty hard with a 10-game suspension, and he can't start serving that 10 games until he gets called up to the Mariners. He is appealing, so to see if we can get that cut down in half to maybe 5 games. But either way, he is going to be suspended whenever they do call him up, either at the end of the month So if we do end up seeing Victor Robles, more than likely it's going to be, the first or second week of September, more than likely, unless they call him up pretty soon. But again, if you call him up now, you're not going to get to use him. But again, we need to get that suspension out of the way. But if we can get it down to 5 games instead of 10, that'll be much better for our chances to use him in a playoff push. Try dance up. Let's go M's. And we're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on the Dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. And if we hit that, we'll be shooting somewhere between 20 and 30. All day in the building. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, it's been a very rough road trip to, say the very least. Again, we're going to have to just try to do our best. I mean, if we win today, we'll have a chance for tomorrow. It kind of felt like we were only going to win 1 game out of 3. This one's going to be tough because it's Bryce's first start after an injury. And we know the Phillies are one of the best teams in MLB. We might be a World Series contender in the American League. With Philadelphia, if you look at their roster, the continuity, the chemistry, they've essentially had the same team overall, including a couple guys that they've added within the couple, last few years, but relatively the same team for the last few. And they definitely are World Series contenders. And I know the Dodgers, the Padres, the Brewers, the Cubs, they don't want anything to do with Philadelphia. And they're very, very good at home. So this is definitely going to be a challenge today and tomorrow. And then we have Thursday off. And then we actually come back home to T-Mobile to play the Athletics. And again, that won't be easy either because, again, we're going to be playing up to the competition in this series, and we may try to play down to them, but we can't afford that. So hopefully we can try to win today. We win today, we'll have a chance for tomorrow. And again, we want to make sure that once we go back home to T-Mobile, we get back on track. Cody in the building, what's good? Marine Bean in the building, what's good? AR in the building, what's good? I'm not really anticipating him to be lights out. I mean, if you went and saw what George Kirby did, in his first start back, he was terrible in his first 3 starts. So I'm not sure if it's going to be as bad as what we saw from Logan Gilbert. I highly doubt that. The Phillies bats are, very, very good, but I'm hoping, and praying that, we can get Bryce Miller to give up, 3 runs or less. And if he can end up doing that, that should be able to give us a chance to be able to get the job done. So. But again, we're going against one of the best pitchers in the game, 11-4 record, right? 2.45 ERA, top 5 pitcher this year overall, and probably the most underrated pitcher in the game. So if you're looking at guys that have really played well this season, right? Scooball's the best pitcher in the game. Dean's right there with him. Garrett Crochet coming from the White Sox to the Red Sox. Awesome. Sanchez, incredible. And then, Hunter Brown for the Houston Astros. I would say those are probably your top 5 guys in baseball this year as far as starting pitching. And again, they also have Zach Wheeler, but obviously he's on the IL, so we won't have to face him tomorrow, thankfully. But the Phillies got the pitching. They got the hitting. Now, they got the chemistry. They're very good at home. So, again, it's going to be tough, but let's hope that Bryce gives up 3 runs or less. And hopefully we're tied or we're ahead once he goes out. So that way we actually get a chance to use Brash, Bazzardo, and Spire and Mooney. Otherwise, if we're down by 1, 2, or 3, we may end up seeing someone else. But we did make a few roster changes as well. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, popped up and flied out to left by Christopher Sanchez there on that first pitch down the middle, and that is 1 away. Hard hit ball by Randy Arozarena. And again, just a little bit more oomph, or if there was a little bit more wind out there, maybe that would have carried into the wall, but that is 1 away. Next up, DHing for the Seattle Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. So Bryce Miller got reinstated. Sorin Lau from AAA Tacoma, one of the bullpen pitchers. And obviously after the performance of Jackson Kowar and Casey Legumina, they are in AAA now, thankfully, because those guys were a liability to us. And again, Carlos Vargas, we thought may be the worst player on the team besides Dylan Moore. He's actually been playing pretty good as of late. So again, we got rid of some guys that are weak links, and now we just have to pray that we can find a way to hang tough with a very good team. First pitch to Cal, fouls it off, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking low and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And obviously with all these left-handed pitchers, we have to go with a righty lineup, and that is something that the Mariners struggle with. We definitely have a better lineup when we go against right-handed pitchers rather than left. And then not only that, you're going against one of the top 5 overall in MLB this year, so it's not going to be easy. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes, too big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss by Cal, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners in the 3-hole, we're going to need you today. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez. We'll take singles. We'll take doubles. But at the end of the day, we might need you to hit a home run or 2 to keep up with this Philadelphia Philly pace. Let's go, Julio. First pitch from Sanchez to Julio. High and away with the sinker. 94 miles an hour. 1-0 count. But again, hopefully Bryce, again, will pitch decent. And if he gives up 3 runs or less, and again, the magic number normally is 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. But against Philadelphia, you might need 6 to 10, And again, it's not like we can do that every single day. When we were on our 9-game consecutive win streak, we were averaging about 6 runs a game. But again, on the road, we're not as good. So we're definitely going to need some people to step up. First pitch is high and away with that sinker, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away with that sinker. Again, 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. And again, Christopher Sanchez is a top 5 pitcher this year, 11-4 record, ERA of 2.45. Probably the most underrated and not really well known. But again, after today, we probably will understand why he's been so good. But on the bright side, the Mariners have been good against elite pitching this year. We've been able to beat Skubal, Skeens, Crochet. So again, this wouldn't be any different. Hunter Brown, if we end up getting a dub against Sanchez, that wouldn't really surprise me either. But the bats need to come alive. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. But for us also to do that, we're going to need, 2 or 3 home runs. We're going to need probably 6 to 10 runs overall. We're going to need ribbies. And on top of that, we're going to need Sanchez to hit a couple guys and obviously guys not to get hurt, or him to walk a few guys so we can move guys over and steal a couple bags as well. And down goes Julio, and that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Philadelphia Phillies. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and we'll be shooting for 5 to 15 subs on the stream. We hit that, and then we'll go for 20 or more. And on the mound for the Mariners, who played injured all year, 2-5 record, an ERA of 5.73. It's Miller time, Bryce Miller. And obviously we'll feel a little bit more comfortable with Bryce, you would think, than Logan Evans. But again, Logan Evans was good at home, and he just couldn't win on the road. As far as Bryce, he wasn't really winning at home or on the road. He had a back issue. He had an elbow issue. He was trying to fight through the pain, and then eventually enough was enough. And then he went to the IL. And then Logan Evans just went to the IL, a few days back. So obviously this is why Miller is up at this point, and they were probably going to make the move anyways, just out of respect, due to Bryce being on the team and being part of the starting 5 for the last few years. But hopefully Bryce will be on. If he ends up being a little shaky early, I don't mind if he gives up a couple hits every inning. The main thing is don't give up the RBI. Don't give up the big home runs, and don't give up hit after hit after hit after hit after hit like Logan Gilbert did yesterday. That might have been one of the worst performances I've ever seen out of a Mariner pitcher in the first 2 innings. And for a guy that normally is an all-star or a top 20 pitcher, sometimes even top 10 pitcher in certain years in Logan Gilbert, hopefully we don't see that version of Logan ever again. Leading off for the Phillies, going against Bryce Miller, shortstop Trey Turner, who's an absolute stud. Batting second, DHing in the 2-hole, Kyle Schwarber. RBIs and home runs for days. And batting third, first baseman with 2 homers yesterday, Bryce Harper. That's a hell of a 1-2-3. If you compare that to anyone else's 1-2-3, obviously you got the Dodgers up there, Mookie, Freddie, Shohei Ohtani, but Turner, Schwarber, and Harper, my goodness, that's tough. Right ends up, let's go M's. All right, we're almost to the halfway point. I like that. First pitch in there for a strike for Trey Turner. Fouled it off. 0-1 count. And Dylan Moore sliding in foul territory. Good effort by Dylan. I mean, normally we know this guy can't hit or defend. And again, we're going to be upgrading the roster, as much as we possibly can moving forward. But we'll see how this one goes. Road trip has not been kind to us. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Turner. 10 starts, 2-5 record, 48.2 innings pitched for Bryce Miller before he ended up leaving with that injury. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Turner. But I'm glad Bryce is back. I always enjoyed him, when he was on the mound for the Mariners. And again, he's going to be just like every other pitcher. He's going to be up and down. Injuries have been brutal. Miller, Gilbert, and Kirby, 3 out of our 5 have been hurt. Wu and Castillo have not, thankfully. And we had Emerson Hancock and Logan Evans fill in to try to keep us afloat. But hopefully the starting pitching will get back to what we're used to, because it's been definitely shaky this year. But hitting has been tremendously better. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Trey Turner. Mike in the building, what's good? Daniel in the building, what's good? Cody in the building, what's good? Mark in the building, what's good? All day, 26. What's good, baby? I like that. We're almost there. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Turner. Yeah, well, they just gave him a 10-game suspension, but he doesn't get to serve the suspension until he comes up to the Mariners. Unfortunately, he can't use some of those suspension days for the Tacoma Rainiers, but he's appealing it. So if he gets it dropped down to 5, then that'll do us a little bit better. Instead of missing 2 weeks of action, it'll just be like missing 1 week. And again, so we may not see Victor Robles until like the 1st or 2nd week of September. I don't think they're going to be calling him up anytime soon. They're going to wait to see how it plays out, and then they'll call him up. And again, as long as we're able to use him, in September and October, that's really, best case scenario. Because for a lot of us, we didn't even know if he'd be able to come back this year. So 2-2 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Turner. MT in the building, what's good? But yeah, definitely getting Victor's, offense, defense, and his good vibes, and again, gives you someone a little bit better than Dom in right field, even though Dom has been pretty good. 2-2 pitch, and Turner strikes out swinging, my boy. And again, we didn't see that from Logan Gilbert yesterday. And again, Bryce Miller was pretty effective in AAA before he got his call up. Not bad. I like it. It's Miller time, baby. And when you get a punch out on Trey Turner after being gone for, it seems like months, that's a fucking success, let me tell you. Next up, DHing in the 2-hole, Kyle Schwarber. Megan with a tenner, appreciate you. Logan Gilbert, when he came back on his first start after the rehab stint, was pretty good. But again, Kirby was bad for his first 3 starts. So far so good, here for Bryce Miller. But again, it's very early. Appreciate you. Joey DeCord, Seattle Kraken, Team America. Nice. I like that. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. And we'll get some Joey DeCord photos up for you, or if there's something else that you would like, just let me know, and I got you. Thank you so much for your support. We're at 10, 90 to go to hit the goal. Hope you're doing well. And again, we're getting so close to the NFL regular season, a few weeks away, as well as college football season. Some games are even starting this weekend. First pitch to Schwarber. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, knuckle curve, missing, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Schwarber. Let's go, Bryce. So far, so good. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Schwarber. And we know how good Schwarber and Cal Raleigh have been this year. And here it is, back. See ya. Kyle Schwarber with another home run to add to his total in 2025 to right center, 404 feet, 1-0 Philadelphia. And again, that's going to happen. It doesn't matter if that's going to be George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, or Luis Castillo. When Schwarber gets it right on the sweet spot, especially at home, it is goodbye. But again, hopefully he only gives up 3 runs or less. And again, hopefully it's not as bad as what we saw yesterday, and I don't think it will be. Nice job by Schwarber, bringing that electricity for Philadelphia, and that's the main reason why the Dodgers, the Padres, the Brewers, and the Cubs don't want anything to do with Philadelphia. That's a pretty strong, National League this year. Next up, a man with 2 homers yesterday will be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he's done. Bryce Harper. First pitch, fouled off, low and away with the sinker, 0-1 count. And hopefully Bryce will be able to settle in. When you go against a lineup that's as good as this, that there's a good chance that you're going to give up some RBIs, some hits, and some home runs, but it can't be as bad as it was yesterday. We don't want to have the game essentially feel like it's over in the second inning. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Bryce Harper. The Schwarber bomb, I appreciate greatness. And of course, Cal Raleigh, 47 home runs. Schwarber, number 2 with 44. You got Ohtani, Judge, and Geno, right behind those guys. And again, for a guy that primarily plays DH, he is really something special, really fun to watch. Just, we would hope that he would homer against other teams other than us, but he does not discriminate. He'll homer against anybody. 0-2 pitch, knuckle curve, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Harper. But again, as long as it's, and again, we have to think positive. As long as it is a solo jack rather than a 2-run blast, 3-run blast, or a grand salami. So best case scenario, when Schwarber homers, it's only a solo dinger. We'll take that. 1-2 pitch to Bryce Harper, and he doesn't homer, but grounds out to first. Toe tap on the bag by Naylor, and that is 2 away. There we go. We'll take that. And a little flip to Bryce Miller there at first. I like it. Next up, catcher in the cleanup spot, JT Realmuto. Nice job by Bryce Miller getting to first. And it's always kind of a scary situation when you think about it, when you have a pitcher having to cover first base, and, there's always chances that he can get stepped on by the runner or twist an ankle. Not every pitcher is incredibly athletic, and there's a reason why they pitch and they don't play outfield or second base or shortstop. They got the great arm, but, some pitchers are a little bit more athletic than others, but so far, not the greatest start, but not the worst. And again, we're only down 1-0. And again, this Philadelphia Philly team is a World Series contender like ourselves, but they're kind of in another category above and beyond us, obviously. And we got an automatic ball pitch timer violation, 1-0 count. Yeah, I want 2 out of 3 as well, but realistically, we're probably going to win only 1 out of 3. But if we win today, we will have a chance for tomorrow, obviously. But again, the bats have to come alive. We can't have Bryce Miller give up 5-6 runs. It has to be 3 runs or less, and then we have to be tied or ahead, when the bullpen comes in for Miller. So that way we get Pizzardo, Brash, Spire, and then possibly Munoz. Again, if we end up being down by 1, 2, or 3, realistically, they're going to go with, like a Vargas type. And if he ends up pitching well, so be it. But Kowar and Legomina are no longer on the team. They're in AAA, thank God. So we don't have to worry about meltdowns by them. They were terrible. And we'll see where it goes. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to JT Realmuto. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JT. Let's go, Bryce. 2-5 record, ERA of 5.73. And again, we just haven't ever really had a Seattle Mariners season in the last 15 years where we've had 3 of our top 5 in the rotation injured for an extended period of time. But again, that's what has happened. But at least the hitting has gotten better. Bullpen has been very shaky, but again, we'll see where this goes. 1-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 on JT. I like it. And again, much better of a start than we saw from Logan Gilbert, giving up 6 runs within the first 2 innings. And when you're down 6-0, in the first 2 innings, realistically, it's hard to feel like you're going to be able to come back. But he's only given up 1 hit. Yeah, that 1 hit was a home run, but Schwarber homers against everyone. He's number 2 in MLB in homers with Cal Raleigh. So again, in this game, you're seeing the top 2 home run hitters in the game. Paisley Pup came in here, and I think she decided to go out to the couch there instead. Let's go to the top of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, in the 4-hole, good vibes only, Julio Suarez. And we know we can get the defense out of you, Geno, but we're going to need singles, doubles, or maybe that off-put home run at some point or another. Let's go, Geno. Batting second and first base, in the 5-hole, Josh Naylor. Now, ever since he got sick, hasn't really been the same player, since that, particular time period, but hopefully he'll be able to buck the trend. We'll need singles, doubles, home runs, and we need to see him swipe some bags. Let's go, Naylor. And batting third, one of the unsung heroes yesterday, even though we didn't win, a guy that you don't expect really to do anything when he plays, for singles, doubles, or home runs. But every once in a while, he'll give you a little magic, Mitch Garver. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. No, Schwarber's in the 2-hole like Cal Raleigh. So things have changed in the last few years. You don't really put your best hitter at the 4 or the 5 because late in the game, like Marine mentioned yesterday, you want to have a chance to be able to have your best player get an at-bat late in the 9th inning or in the 8th inning. So a lot of teams have kind of restructured their lineups, and you're going to normally see the best players hitting at the 2 and the 3. Obviously, the leadoff guy, can be great, whether it be Francisco Lindor or Trey Turner, or like a Victor Robles, normally for us, someone to set the tone, but normally you're going to see the best players most of the time in the 2 and the 3. You still see some elite players in the 4 and the 5 in the cleanup spot. But again, the reason why they've made that switch to the 2 or the 3, so that way they get one additional at-bat, maybe late in the game, and that sometimes will save a team when they're down by 1, 2, or 3. But so far, so good. Logan Gilbert looked terrible yesterday, but Bryce Miller looked pretty good. I mean, obviously, Schwarber homers off everyone. Cal's number 1 in MLB in home runs. Schwarber's number 2. And again, at least it was only a solo dinger. And, we can still come back down 1. When you get down by 6, you feel a little bit different. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Nah, Cole Young's not good enough to be at 4. It's good to have Cole at the end of the lineup. That way, if we end up starting an inning with a 9 and the 1 and the 2, he can be the guy that maybe can start the rally. Or if it ends up being 8-9-1, he might be able to get a key RBI. And he has won us quite a few games, a couple already as a rookie in that 8 or 9 hole. Megan with the tour. Oh, his birthday today as well. Joey Decord, Stacks, Rack with the little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Appreciate you. We're at 12, 88 to go to hit our goal. Appreciate you. See if I can pull up a couple here. I got some others loading at the moment, but I appreciate you. First pitch to Eugenio Suarez from Christopher Sanchez. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Again, Christopher Sanchez is the most underrated pitcher in the game. 11-4 record, ERA of 2.45. And again, he's up there in the top 5 this year, right? Scooball, number 1. Skeens, 2. Garrett Crochet, 3. Christopher Sanchez, 4. And Suarez with a nice single on an 0-1 count, my boy. And then Hunter Brown, 5. I mean, that's kind of the consensus for most people if you've actually followed the game from all the teams. But nice job by Geno, man. And again, starting it off with a nice single into left field, and hopefully we'll get a home run or another single or double later in the game. Let's see if we can get 2 hits out of him today. But he already gets 1 early in his first at bat. Nice job, Geno. Right hands up. Now we got to see if we can get Naylor to get another, and maybe we can tie this game up 1-1. Let's see if we can get a single, double, or a home run. Let's go Naylor. I mean, at some point, he's got to get over the virus, with, cold, flus, COVID still kind of being rampant in sports, even though it's not really highly publicized by the media. It's still floating around there, and hopefully we can get Naylor back on track, because the last couple days, he's played like he's been sick, and it doesn't really feel like he's 100% yet, and hopefully we'll be able to get him back on track. First pitch to Naylor, big swing and a miss right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Christopher Sanchez to Josh Naylor. 11-4 record, 2.45 ERA. So we're not going to get a whole lot on Sanchez. We have to pray that we can get 1 to 3 runs within the first 6 innings, and that might be tough. Oh, 2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. 1-2 pitch, low and away with the changeup, 85 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Naylor. David with a 5er, appreciate you. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you for your support. Appreciate you, Megan and David. Thank you for getting the Dono trade started early and often. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Naylor. All right, we're at 30. 20 more to get to that halfway point. Let's go, baby. Sorry to hear that. It's always tough when we have situations like that happen in life. Top of the second inning, 1-0 Philadelphia. Bryce Miller making his debut after it feels like he's been gone for months. Gave up a solo dinger to Schwarber, but again, at least it was only a solo jack. So we're down 1-0. We got the 2 best home run hitters in the game, not named Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani playing. And we have 3 of the top 5 with Cal Raleigh, Kyle Schwarber, and Julio Suarez based on home runs. So again, should be a home run party at some point. Probably a little bit more for Philadelphia than us, but hopefully at some point we can match their skill set. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, and down goes Naylor on strikes, and that is 1 away. Come on, Josh, we need you. We can't start having Geno get hot, and then all of a sudden you go on a slump. We need Geno and Naylor to be on the same page together, and so far, since we both brought them up, it's only one or the other. It was Naylor, and now it's Geno lately. So hopefully that will change later in the matchup. Next up, one of the unsung heroes yesterday, catcher Mitch Garver. You never know when he'll give you a unexpected single, double, RBI, or home run to kind of get your spirits lifted. And it's a guy that we know that, he's not going to be on this team for a long period of time. Harry Ford, obviously, in AAA will be a guy that will take his spot eventually. But again, for the time being, we just have to hope for the best while he's in there. Same thing with like a Donovan Solano or a Miles Mastroboni or one of those types. You just have to hope for the best. First pitch, takes a strike looking low and at the knees, inside slider, 89 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Garver. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Garver. Let's go, Garv. Top of the second inning, 1-0 Philadelphia with a Kyle Schwarber solo jack. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Garver, and that is 2 away. Next up, second baseman in the 7-hole, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. First pitch to Polo from Sanchez. Takes a strike swinging low and out the knees. 0-1 count. Top of the second inning, 1-0 Philadelphia with a runner at first and 2 outs. Kyle Schwarber with a Schwarber bomb in the first inning. And again, it's much better of a start in the matchup rather than yesterday's game, when we ended up being down 6-0 in the first 2 innings. One of the worst performances from Logan Gilbert in his career. And feels like the vibes are a little bit better here today. And we just need the bats to come alive and, the pitching to, hold their own. And we should hopefully be able to compete late in the matchup. And then obviously we have game number 3 that will be early in the morning at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And I believe it's Luis Castillo on the mound. So I like our chances, to compete tomorrow as well. Thursday is a day off. And then we fly back to Seattle, to T-Mobile. And then we start on a Friday series against the Athletics. And I like our chances against them, even though, they do have Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker, Kurtz, Wilson. They got some studs over there, even though their record isn't good. As long as we don't take them for granted and play down to the competition, we should be able to get some dubs against the Athletics and get back on the right track. But we want to make sure that we're playing tough here against Philadelphia on the road. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. 1-2 pitch, and down goes Polo, and that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Philadelphia. See if I can get another photo or 2 here of Decord for Megan. And if David wants anything, let me know, and I got you. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Appreciate you. See who's up next here for the Phillies in the bottom of the second. Next up for the Phillies, someone that looks like they need to be on Duck Dynasty, left fielder Brandon Marsh. He'd fit in great. Batting second in the 7-hole, right fielder Nick Castellanos. And batting third, center fielder Harrison Bader. On the mound for the Mariners, welcome back, Bryce Miller. 2-5 record, ERA of 5.73, but he played injured pretty much that whole time in the first half of the season before he went out with the injury with a back and an elbow. But so far, so good. I mean, besides giving up a home run to Schwarber, but it was a solo jack. And, when you end up going against Schwarber or Cal Raleigh, stuff happens. No problem, man. I think all of us have experienced something like that at some point in our lives. So, first pitch from Bryce Miller to Brandon Marsh. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Marsh. And I'll say this, the game is still early, and there is a chance that Miller gives up another home run or 2. But so far, he looks pretty good, with all things considered. I mean, yeah, he gave up a home run to Schwarber, but who fucking doesn't, right? But other than that, compared to Trey Turner and Harper and the rest of the lineup, his pitching is pretty good. Like, if you're actually looking at the location of the pitches, his swagger, his aura, it feels like he's pretty confident there on the mound and not doubting himself. And that's exactly what we needed here today. Nice job. And that is 1 away. Down goes Marsh. Big punch out. Nice job, Bryce. My boy. I see you. Bring that electricity, baby. Someone a little bit better maybe than Logan Evans. And we know Logan Evans can't win on the road. And, Bryce actually can. So we'll see where this goes. Next up is Nick Castellanos. First pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away in the sinker. 89 miles an hour. 0-1 count. But so far, pretty impressed with Bryce here early. After seeing some, all-star pitcher like a Logan Gilbert from a few years back, give up hit after hit after hit, and they literally went through the whole entire lineup like twice, and we were down 6-0. I mean, anything can be better than what we saw yesterday. It's like burn the tape and never look back on that game. 0-1 pitch, high and away, which could have been called strike. It was on the line. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nick Castellanos. Cool kid in the building. What's good? 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside, which probably should have been called the ball, but called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Castellanos. 1-2 pitch, and Castellanos grounds out to second. Throw to first, and that is 2 away. Defense is a little bit sharper today. Miller is sharper than Logan Gilbert, obviously, and I like what I'm seeing here so far. We definitely are going to have a chance today. Wow, what a throw. Unbelievable throw by Jorge Palomo for a guy that can't really throw. They're going to probably challenge his play at first base, but Polo's kind of has a noodle arm, and to go from second and then go to third, that's where they initially wanted him to play before they brought up Ben Williamson. He doesn't really have a very strong arm. Obviously, we know Cole Young and JP at short is a little bit better, but off 2 bounces, gets it to Naylor, and we end up getting that out. Nice. First pitch to Bader, and popped up, flied out to center, no fly zone. Julio is there with Randy, and that is out number 3. We're pretty solid today. I like what I'm seeing, especially when you go against the Brewers, the Cubs, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Padres. It feels like the National League is better this year than the American. The Tigers and the Blue Jays got good records, right? And obviously we know the Astros aren't as good as maybe they normally are. Mariners are better than they normally are, right? And obviously the Yankees are a little bit worse. Red Sox are a little bit better than they normally are, normally at the bottom, and they've kind of, worked their way into second place, kind of battling with the Yankees, behind the Blue Jays. So it's like we have a few good teams, but again, the National League, it seems like their teams are a little bit stronger, at least so far this year, in, this part of the season. But again, once we go to the playoffs, anything can happen. It's all about whoever gets hot and healthy at the right time. End of the second inning, 1-0 Philadelphia. And again, the defense has been good. Pitching has been good, besides the 1 home run by Schwarber. And again, Bryce Miller, first game back after being gone, it seems like, for months, and he looks good. And again, we need that. We need that solid 5th guy. So we're going to have Wu, Gilbert, Kirby, Castillo, Miller, and we just need them to play together and obviously, get on that same kind of level they were at a few years ago. Let's go to the top of the 3rd inning and let's get on the fucking board. What do you say? Next up, in the 8-hole shortstop, ice water in his veins, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Bring that swagger and energy, baby. Batting second in the 9-hole right fielder, Dylan Moore. Now, we know he's the worst player on the team right now. Even Vargas can't be in the same category as Dylan Moore anymore because Vargas has actually been pretty good as of late. So, I mean, it can only get it can't really get any worse than what it's already been, right? You can only go up from here, you would hope. And hopefully Dylan Moore can do at least something. And if you can't get a hit, at least get on base with a walk. And batting third, left fielder, back at the top of the order, 0 for 1, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, JP. And again, on the mound, one of the top 4 pitchers in the game, 11-4 record, 2.45 ERA. And again, I feel like every other pitcher is kind of well known, right? Skubal, Skeens, Crochet, Hunter Brown. And then this is the first year that we've really heard Christopher Sanchez's name mentioned in being a top 5 pitcher. But again, they have him, Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, even though Wheeler is hurt. And big hit off the wall. Go, JP, go! And a stand-up double by JP Crawford, my boy. Sometimes you got to talk it into existence, baby. There we go. And that was almost a homer by JP Crawford. Let's go. Sometimes you just got to talk it into existence, baby. All right, let's go, Dylan. Now, in this particular situation, again, you don't necessarily want him bunting towards third, obviously, because that would be where JP is going. But again, if you were to have a guy bunt, Dylan Moore wouldn't be a bad candidate. He's been striking out left and right. But again, you never know. Maybe Dylan Moore will be the unsung hero today. Maybe he'll get a single, double, triple, or home run. And I know it's not likely, but again, a guy can dream, right? Best case scenario for Dylan Moore, if he gets one hit, a single or a double, and then maybe gets a walk. If we can get that out of a guy like him, considering how bad he's been, and he's got 9 homers, but he had 8 of them at the beginning of the year, and then his last homer was on the 4th of July at the game that I went to against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it's been a minute since he's done something really productive. 0-1 pitch, high and away. Changeup missing there by Sanchez. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sanchez to Moore. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Sanchez to Moore. Let's go, Demo. Two-one pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Moore. Come on, Dylan. If I'm going to throw up 2 photos for you, maybe even 3 for good luck, you got to do something. Come on now. Looking pretty swaggy in those City Connects. Let's go. Two-two pitch, big swing and a miss, and that is 1 away. Down goes Demo, but I don't know if anyone's really surprised about that. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Cal's got 47 home runs. The record is 48 by Salvador Perez in a full season. Schwarber in second place with 44 and a home run today. All right, come on, Randy. Let's go, baby. Singles, doubles, triples, home runs. And we know Randy gets plunked more than anybody. Obviously taking over that role from Ty France since he's no longer on our team. And Randy hit it deep all the way back to the wall. Go, go, go. Go, go, JP. Run your ass off. Run like you're running from the cops. Go, baby. And he scores. There we go. 1-1. We're tied, baby. Boom. Let's go, baby. Running like you're running from the cops, baby. All the way from second to home, and both of them identically hitting it off the wall, and beautiful. And again, it just felt like the vibes were a little bit different here today. I love it, baby. And again, sometimes you got to talk it into existence that this would be the inning that we're going to get on the board. We mentioned that a few moments ago, and look at that. It happened. Nice job by JP. Nice job by Randy, both with doubles. And now it's 1-1 with big dumper Cal Raleigh up next. Let's go, Cal. First pitch to Cal Raleigh. Takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Low and away with the changeup. 85 miles an hour. Misses the corner by inches. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And again, if he homers in this game, that'll tie the all-time record in the last 150 years. The most home runs any catcher has ever hit in a full season is 48. And Cal's at 47 with still 40 to 50 games to go. So realistically, we would think that Cal would probably get to, maybe 58. And then anything above 58 would be just money. And obviously the goal would be able to get past Aaron Judge, at 63 since he had 62. And then prior to that, the record with Roger Maris at 61. We don't really count the Bonds, McGuire, Sosa bullshit because that obviously with steroids and whatnot. So we talk about the players that are clean. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 3-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. And again, Cal having the bat from the right-hand side is not really ideal to start a game. I like it when he starts off, lefty. But again, you have to have a righty pitcher. And lately, we've been going against a lot of lefties, with the Orioles series, the Mets series, and the Phillies. And it's like they know if they have a lefty in the bullpen after having a lefty starting, they're going to go to that guy because they know the Mariners are a little bit weaker with right-handed bats. Not to say that Polo and Cal as switch hitters can't, homer from that side. They can, but just not as often. And Cal with good eyes doesn't take that swing, and that is a walk. There we go. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Could we take the lead with Julio Rodriguez, baby? This would be a great time for a 3-run blast by Julio. We get up 4-1. We're going to be in a real good position. But even a single or a double or an RBI would be fantastic as well. Let's go, J-Rod. Let's go, Julio. You've been fucking the man since obviously after the All-Star break. Be patient here. Let's see if we can get the right pitch. First pitch from Sanchez to Julio. Takes a strike looking on the line. 0-1 count. We're finally starting to kind of put it together here. Let's go, J-Rod. And luckily, we have the good J-Rod at this point, at the second half of the season, who always bats above 300, rather than the J-Rod that, is not the greatest in the first part of the season. Top of the third inning, 1-1 with runners at first and second and one out. Big doubles by JP and Randy Arozarena, and a walk for Cal Raleigh. Now we got runners at first and second with the guy that you want in the box, Julio Rodriguez. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Joseph Kim with a 5er. Appreciate you. Absolutely. Stacks, racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Absolutely, man. Again, sometimes you just got to talk it into existence. And, again, the sports gods, sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. But a lot of times if we say it, it happens. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Rodriguez. And it's not like Sanchez gives up a lot of home runs, but again, if we could get, an RBI double, the score would be 3-1. We would be able to get JP and Cal off a double more than likely, but we'll see where it goes. But best case scenario, that 3-run blast by Julio, that would really get us out of our seats. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Julio, and it kind of feels like we're going to need a 2-run blast, a 3-run jack, or a grand salami today. I don't know how limited the bats are going to be. We already got 1 Schwarber bomb already, and it's more than likely they're going to hit another home run or 2 before the game is over, unless we're incredibly lucky. 2-2 pitch, and Julio strikes out, unfortunately, and that is 2 away. But I still got faith in Julio on doing something later in the game. Next up, with a man that already has a hit here today, good vibes only, 1 for 1. Geno, could you do the unthinkable and give us a 3-run jack or even an RBI here? Geno Suarez. Let's go, Geno. Defense, but we need the offense as well. Good vibes only. Let's go. Top of the third inning, we tied up 1-1. But again, when you got runners at first and second, and again, you got blasted yesterday, we're going to take anything that we can get. Especially against a guy that is a top 4 pitcher in MLB this year, and maybe the most underrated in the top 5. Screwball, Skeens, Crochet, Hunter Brown, and Christopher Sanchez. First pitch from Sanchez to Suarez. Takes a strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. And we're definitely going to need some walks, and we're going to need to swipe some bags. We haven't really been able to get that, and it feels like in quite some time. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Geno Suarez. Let's go, baby. One pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Geno Suarez. Great pitch by Sanchez there with the changeup. Top of the third inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. We're tied up at 1 with back-to-back doubles by JP, as well as Randy Arozarena. 1-2 pitch in play. And unfortunately, Geno grounds out to the fielder's choice to the shortstop, and that's out number 3. Well, I guess beggars can't be choosers. And again, you got to take whatever they're going to give you. The Phillies are one of the best teams in baseball, and they're great at home. And I'm just happy that we got back-to-back doubles to get it tied at 1. And Bryce Miller's been pitching well, so we have a chance. We're in the game. It's not 6-0 at this point like it was yesterday, so we're feeling good about that. Let's go. Let's see who's up next here for the Phillies in the bottom of the third. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And I had a feeling with Randy, I didn't have to put him on the thumb today, but something told me, hey, put him on. Something could happen good today for him, and it did. Next up for the Phillies, in the 9-hole, second baseman Bryson Stott. Back at the top of the order, 0 for 1 with a K, shortstop Trey Turner. And batting third, 1 for 1 with a Schwarber bomb already, DHing in the 2-hole, Kyle Schwarber. Bryce Miller making his first start in it feels like months. 2-5 record with a 5.73 ERA. But he's been pitching well. He's given up the Schwarber bomb, and that's it. And again, that's much better than what we saw Logan Gilbert do yesterday. So we're feeling good. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Let's go, baby. Griffey loves it. Bottom of the third. We're knotted up at 1, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we're shooting for 5 to 15 subs. We hit that, then we go to the next goal. Let's go, baby. We're at 21,513. 87 to go to 21,600. Let's go. First pitch from Bryce Miller to Bryson Stott. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Let's go, Bryce. It's Miller time, baby. But I'm super impressed with Bryce, so far. I mean, our starting pitching has been really bad, lately. At the beginning of the year, it was pretty good, but, not to the standard of past years where pitching was elite and hitting was terrible. Now hitting is elite compared to what it was, 180 to 220 as a team in previous years. Now we're 240 to 250 as a team, but starting pitching with Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, Castillo, Evans hasn't really been the greatest lately, but at least Bryce is looking pretty good here. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Stott. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Stott. 8 more likes to get to 50. Let's get there. We got at least 60 people in the room that haven't hit the like button yet. Do your boy a solid. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Those will be the 3 goals that we're going for here today. It'll help the algorithm and help us get more people that are looking for Mariners, Phillies, and MLB, game or matchup to watch. And that potentially could lead into more likes, views, subs, donos, and especially more NWSF members on the daily. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Stott. 2-2 pitch, high and away with the 4-seam fastball. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Bryson Stott. Bottom of the third inning, we're knotted up at 1. And again, if we have it somehow, we find a way to get this dub here today, we will have a chance tomorrow. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Miller, who's been very fucking impressive up to this point. Now, again, it's only about halfway through his potential first start back. But within these first 3 innings, I like what I'm seeing so far. 3-2 pitch, and that is a walk. And we don't see too many of those out of Bryce, and hopefully we'll be able to get a strikeout in a double play or a double play in a strikeout, but he seems very confident on the mound. And that's kind of a refreshing change. If you look at a lot of the faces of the starting pitchers lately, it's been a little bit of concern, especially Logan Gilbert yesterday. Concern turned into disgust. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K, shortstop Trey Turner. Let's go, Bryce. Bring that electricity, baby. Sanchez has already got 7 fucking Ks. That's incredible. Miller's got 2, but again, a lot of pop-up and ground out, so we'll take that. First pitch from Miller to Turner. Big swing and a miss, low and away, 0-1 count. Bottom of the third, we're knotted up at 1. And Stott steals second and safe. Wish the Mariners would be able to put themselves in a position to do that. We definitely haven't been able to have runners to steal bags lately. We haven't been getting plunked. We haven't been stealing bags. We haven't been bunting. You know, the small ball is important, you know, and you got to be able to put yourself in the best chance to win. And you know, the road trip has not been very kind to us. Orioles, Mets, and now Philadelphia. Can't wait to get back home. And I know the crowd will be very, very loud and very passionate on Friday. 0-2 pitch in play. And a big single by Turner. And Stott scrambles to third. Throw home to keep him there. And to keep him stranded there. All right, now runners on the corners at first and third with no outs. So now they're threatening here with Schwarber. We got to be real careful we don't give up another Schwarber bomb. Because if it ends up being 4-1, that's going to be tough. So we got to find a way to be able to get a strikeout and a double play or a double play and a strikeout, considering we got runners at first and third with no outs. So realistically, they're going to score at least one this inning. But if we can hold them to just one, you know, more than likely, I mean, again, if we get a strikeout and a double play, it would be none. But you know, what are the chances of that happening? I'm not too sure, especially with Schwarber and Harper up next. And Turner steals second, safe. Golly. Phillies are so disciplined. And again, when you have Garver behind the plate, but instead of Cal Raleigh, you're not going to be able to throw guys out that often. First pitch high and away to Schwarber, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Schwarber. And Miller's only mistake so far was a Schwarber bomb in the first inning. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Schwarber. Let's go, Bryce. Got to find a way to get these next few outs. Got to minimize the damage here. Bottom of the third, runners at second and third, and no outs. We're tied up at 1 with back-to-back doubles by JP and Randy. Solo dinger by Schwarber in the first, and that's where we're sitting right now. But the Phillies are threatening. Come on, Bryce. And throw to first. Great play there by J.P. Crawford. Beautiful. Was looking to see if we could get a double play there, but grounds out to J.P. Only play was at first and obviously staring down third base so that way they wouldn't be able to run 1 away. Great job by J.P. there. Next up is Bryce Harper. And first pitch, sac fly by Harper to center. Stott scores from third. Turner to third. 2-1 Philadelphia. And again, Bryce Harper has been on a heater as of late. And so for him to be able to get that sac fly, that's a better than a 3-run homer. So now we're down 2-1 with a runner at third and 2 outs. And hopefully we keep that last runner there. Next up, catcher JT Realmuto. Let's go, Bryce. You've been doing pretty damn well. You know, this is a World Series contending team, and we're not very good on the road, so. Highly doubt that. Bottom of the third, runner at third with 2 outs, 2-1 Philadelphia lead. First pitch from Miller to Realmuto, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away by Bryce Miller. 2 balls and no strikes from Miller to Realmuto. Bottom of the third, 2-1 Philadelphia lead. Come on, Bryce. But definitely more exciting than yesterday. You know, yesterday was a little depressing. 2-0 pitch, in play, and Realmuto with a single to center. Turner scores 3-1 Philadelphia. And as long as that is all that Bryce gives up, I mean, it's kind of tough when you end up having runners at first and third and no outs. You know they're going to score at least one, but shit happens. We just need our bats to be able to match their bats. Can't have them score anymore, though. That has to be it for Bryce. Next up is third baseman in the 5-hole, 0 for 1, Alec Bohm. And again, Bryce pitched well in the first 2 innings, but again, if you get yourself in a jam like that, and also on top of that, both of them stealing from first to second and then going from second to third. I mean, everything is just by the book. Such a disciplined team in the Philadelphia Phillies. And Realmuto steals second. I mean, every motherfucker that gets on first base goes to second, like, instantly. And again, you can't count on Garber to throw anybody out. He's got a very weak arm compared to Cal. And they're taking advantage of it on every fucking play. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Bohm. And again, if Cal was catching, not every single one of these guys would be able to go from first to second. I guarantee it. He would have thrown out at least one out of the 3 or 4 guys that have stole bags already. But they're very efficient, as you can see. All right, Megan, take care. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Bohm. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great work day. Bottom of the third, 3-1 Philadelphia with a runner at second and 2 outs. Miller on the mound, Bohm in the box. One-two pitch, splitter, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Bohm. Come on, Bryce, we got to get this last out. And definitely he's a little shaky now after giving up these runs. Got to get that swagger back. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. 3-1 Philadelphia lead. And we can't let them score anymore. Has to be 3. And hopefully that'll be all that he gives up until he exits, hopefully in the 6th inning. But we know how good Philadelphia is. That may not be possible. And hopefully the bats will come alive so we can tie it up 3-3 and feel good about ourselves. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. Count still is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Bohm. Let's go, Bryce. Miller on the mound, Bohm in the box. 3-2 pitch, and that is a walk. Come on, Bryce. You're starting to get a little shaky now. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Next up, 6-hole hitter, left fielder, Brandon Marsh. 0 for 1 with the K, and we definitely could use a K right now. Let's go. All right, Woodworth coming out to have a discussion with Garver and Bryce. Would have been nicer if we could have had Cal catching for Bryce in his first start, but like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on that dono train. Where are we sitting on the likes right now? We have at least half of the people in the room that haven't hit that like button just yet. Where are we at with that? All right, looks like we're at, 48? 2 more to get to 50. We got at least 52 people in the room that haven't hit the like button yet, so at least half. If we can get at least half of those half of people, we'll be at 75. First pitch from Miller to Marsh. Big swing and a miss on that knuckle curve, low and away, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, 4-seam fastball, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Marsh. Bottom of the third inning, 3-1 Philadelphia with runners at first and second and 2 outs. And we got to stop the bleeding, and we need to be able to respond immediately and try to get a run or two in the next 2 innings, preferably in the top of the fourth if it's possible. Even if it only ends up being 1 run and we cut it to 3-2, that would be huge, just to kind of keep pace with this team that is super hot as of late against us. Bottom of the third, runners at first and second with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Marsh. We can get a punch out on Marsh. And he's got the Duck Dynasty beard. And we know Marsh at times can get you a big hit, but got to try to be able to get a pop-up, ground out, or a punch out here. Come on now. Miller on the mound. Brandon Marsh in the box. Great beard, though. I appreciate that. 99 got us a like. Appreciate you. 54, 46 more to go to hit that goal. Let's go, baby. We got about half of the people in the room that have hit that like button. We just need the other half, baby. And it really does help with the algorithm and the metrics. And, that way when people are looking for, MLB or Mariners or Phillies, they can come here. 1-2 pitch in play. And Marsh grounds out to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. So we finally get the bleeding to stop, but that was a good inning by Philadelphia. A little bit of a rough outing in that inning for Bryce because he was pretty clean other than that solo dinger in the first by Schwarber. But again, this is one of the best teams in baseball, right? They got a top 4 pitcher on the mound, and they got a very good team from 1 through 9. So again, now we just need our bats to match theirs. And again, we're still looking for our first home run. Maybe we can get it in the 4th or the 5th inning. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners here in the top of the 4th inning. But again, we need to try to get at least 1 back within the next 2 innings, preferably 2 if we can make it happen. 2-run blast to tie it up 3-3 would be great. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman Josh Naylor. Single, double, or a home run. Let's go, Josh. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K. Had a homer yesterday. Catcher Mitch Garver. Could he do it again? I'm not sure. He might be able to get a single or double. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K. A guy that is so overdue for a home run, it's nuts. Jorge Polanco. I mean, he's been hitting them deep for like the last 10 fucking games. He's so close, but maybe today could be the day. End of the third, and we're going into the top of the 4th. 3-1 Philadelphia lead. Let's take a look at the pitching stats at this point. Christopher Sanchez, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 Ks. Oh my God. 49 pitches, 32 strikes, 2.46 ERA, and that's why he's a top 4 pitcher in MLB this year with, Scooball, Skeens, Crochet, himself, and Hunter Brown. Unbelievable. And then for Bryce Miller, making his first start back in like months, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, 59 pitches, 42 strikes with a 5.92 ERA. Again, I wouldn't expect, 10 Ks out of Bryce. I was thinking like 4 to 7, and 7 would be if everything went great, and again, it kind of feels like it might be only like 4 or 5. But again, we can still win with 4 or 5 Ks. It's just we need the bats to give them a little bit of help. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. No, it doesn't give me, I can see like a lot of metrics. I can see like the subs, and I can see a lot of info, but it doesn't give you, like a button to see every single like per stream. That would be something that would be beneficial for YouTube to provide. So that way you'd be able to see who's actually liking the streams and who isn't and whatnot. But that's not something that they openly provide on, the main screens out there. And I've looked through a lot of the other tabs, to see if there is like a hidden tab that shows it. But to my knowledge, that's not something that they provide. They just show, the number that goes up based off the likes, but not actually who's liking. First pitch from Sanchez to Naylor. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. But they do have a lot of statistics through YouTube Studio that I go through every single day. And that's why it's so important, for us to get to the 100 likes, 125, 150, because I can tell, based off the algorithm and the recommendations that people get on their phone or computer when they're looking, or they are browsing, on YouTube. And obviously if my stream will come up, for Mariners or for Phillies or just MLB, you want to be towards the top. So. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sanchez to Naylor. Legendary in the building again with a $5 dono. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Stacks, racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Legendary being legend. Wait for it. Dairy. Appreciate you. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Naylor. And again, still hasn't really been the same player since he missed a game due to a cold, flu, or COVID. It just seems like he, is not really feeling well. The follow-through swing really isn't there. He's not getting singles and doubles and home runs like he was. And he's not stealing bags either. So I don't know what needs to happen for him just to be not sick anymore. But again, hasn't really been the same player. But hopefully by the time we go home to T-Mobile on Friday, hopefully we get back the good Josh Naylor, because we're going to need it. Down goes Naylor on strikes. Next up, Mitch Garver. Top of the 4th inning, 3-1 Philadelphia. First pitch from Sanchez to Garver, in play, grounds out to second, throw to first, and that is 2 away. Come on, Garv, we need you to work the count, baby. Next up, second baseman Jorge Polanco. We need a polo bomb to make it 3-2. Can we get it? I mean, he's been so close. Sanchez's ERA in August is 1.80. Ridiculous. July 1.95, June 1.85. There's a reason why Sanchez is a top 4 pitcher, in 2025 in MLB. Insane. And on top of that, they got Ranger Suarez and Zach Wheeler, but Zach Wheeler just went to the IL. So, if Zach Wheeler didn't get hurt, I mean, this is one of the best, pitching staffs, as well as closers, bullpen hitters. This team definitely is a team that could, make a World Series run. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Polo. Come on, Polo. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. But also, too, you're seeing Polo and Cal having to bat right-handed, not left, since we have been going a very heavy lefty lineup from the Orioles, Mets, and Phillies. And that's on purpose, not only for starting pitchers, but also for the bullpen. If they have an option for a righty or lefty, if you've noticed, they've been going heavy lefty pitcher against us because they know our righty lineup isn't as good. It's not ideal when you have Mitch Garver typically and Dylan Moore in a fucking lineup, right? 1-2 pitch. And that is out number 3. Down goes Polo. And let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning with the Mariners down by 2. Yeah, Romano he is the worst. As far as bullpen, he might be. I was actually watching the Phillies broadcast in the pregame, and they were saying that based off the innings pitched, he might be like the worst bullpen guy in the last 40 years. So Jordan Romano, not good. But besides everyone else besides him, that is correct. Yeah, and they were talking about that today as well. And then they got one of their, bullpen closer guys that got suspended off PEDs, that's suspended for the playoffs, but might make his debut later today as well. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the dominant Philadelphia Phillies. Next up for the Phillies, 0 for 1 right fielder Nick Castellanos. Batting second, 0 for 1 center fielder Harrison Bader. And batting third, 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball, second baseman Bryson Stott. On the mound for the Mariners, Bryce Miller. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, well, I feel at this point, Jenna, they probably will not be playing him that much anymore, especially with an ERA almost at 8. So at some point, but again, Phillies keep playing Romano. We keep playing Dylan Moore, and these players that, like, after a guy is terrible, it's like, okay, you can either cut him, send him to AAA, or just not play him. But again, they continue to give, Romano, chances, just like we give Dylan Moore chance after chance after chance, even though more than likely, the end result, which is kind of mind-boggling for Phillies fans and Mariner fans. We're both dealing with that same type of issue, except one is a relief pitcher, and then, but we also had Carlos Vargas in that same boat. until as of recently, he was terrible as well. Maybe not the Romano terrible, but but he's been picking it up lately, and he's actually been a little bit better as of late. And we sent Jackson Kowar and Casey Legomina, back to AAA based off their shitty performance yesterday. So I don't really know, what it is, if it's favoritism or they have some kind of connection with certain people on the club. But it's kind of makes you wonder why certain shitty players stay on the team and other guys, go down to AAA. Make it make sense. First pitch from Miller to Castellanos. Big swing and a miss, high and inside. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss on that four-seam fastball. 95 miles an hour, high and tight inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Nick Castellanos. Bottom of the fourth, 3-1 Philadelphia lead. And we're going to need a home run or two to get back into this. Yeah, Christopher Sanchez is top 5. It goes, Skubal 1, Skeens 2, Garrett Crochet 3, and then I would go Christopher Sanchez 4, and then, Hunter Brown from the Astros 5. If you're watching, if you watch baseball as a whole, and that is a throw to first, and that is 1 away. But yeah, he is right now. To me, he's number 4. The only guys that are better than him this year are Crochet, Skubal, and Skeens. So that's really good, good company. First pitch from Miller to Bader, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. I don't really watch a whole lot of Sounders or Timbers, since I live in Oregon, but I do follow Oregon and Washington teams. I'm a big Pacific Northwest guy, obviously a fan of the Mariners, a fan of the Kraken. I'm not a Seahawk fan. I'm a Tampa Bay Buck fan, though, just because I'm a defensive fan. So, again, back in the 90s, Seahawks really didn't have defensive players. Niners didn't. Raiders didn't. Chargers really didn't. So, back around the mid-90s, when Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks got drafted, John Lynch was already there, and then Mike Allstott. And that's like my type of personality. Hard-hitting, special type of players. And then, obviously, once they added Simeon Rice and Michael Pittman, then you kind of knew that they had something cooking there with Dungy to Gruden. And, now if Seahawks actually had some good defensive players, like if they would have had the Legion of Boom back then, yeah, I probably would have ended up being a Seahawk fan more than likely. But, again, I'm not the normal, typical, type of sports fan. I'm more defense. As far as like football is concerned, like I like linebacker and I like safety, but I also like offensive line, defense, special teams, coaching, it's a little bit different. Not to say that I don't like quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, but I feel like those are a little overrated. Again, you have to have a good O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, and play calling. It doesn't really matter per se, how elite your quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end are if you don't have a good O-line, D-line, defense coaching, or play calling. I mean, look at the Chiefs when they played the Bucks in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And that is 2 away. Next up is Bryson Stott. Down goes Bader, and we like that. Bottom of the fourth inning, 3-1 Philadelphia. First pitch to Bryson Stott, low and away, 1-0 count. But essentially, it's, Mariners, Kraken, Blazers, Ducks, Bucks. And then I still follow, the Huskies and the Cougars and the Beavers. And, I try to keep up with the Sounders and the Timbers and, everything else that's going on in Oregon and Washington. So pretty much if it's anything that's going on with Oregon and Washington, I'm keeping up with it. But I also used to keep up very heavy with everything in the Pac-12, even though now the division isn't really the same since we've had some teams join the Big Ten, USC and, obviously Washington and Oregon, just to name a few. So 1-1 pitch, back, see ya. And my goodness, Bryson Stott. And just like that, 4-1 Philadelphia. Uh-oh. And you don't expect a 9-hole hitter to hit a home run, but that's like Cole Young. We ended up having that yesterday. So we're going to need the bats to come alive. Next up now is Trey Turner. Nice job by Bryson Stott with that big blast. And again, it's not something that you ever really expect. So when a 9-hole hitter hits a home run, and if it ends up being a solo dinger, 2-run jack, 3-run jack like Cole Young yesterday, it definitely can help a team win. Now we're down by 3. First pitch from Miller to Turner, low and away, 1-0 count. But I'm not really the biggest I'm not really the biggest soccer individual. For me, again, I can watch a little basketball here and there, but even basketball isn't the same for me as it was in the 80s and 90s when it was the best. It's like once you grow up with Magic and Bird and Jordan and Kobe and Shaq and Iverson in that era, it's not really the same anymore. I think the NBA is definitely not the same. I can watch NHL, not just the Kraken, but I can watch that. I do like NASCAR, for the trucks and Xfinity and NASCAR Cup Series. I do like WWE. I like AEW. So I really watch a little bit of everything. But soccer is one of those things that it's, I appreciate it, but it's just not really for me. I don't really have a connection to it. I didn't play it as a kid. So I was more of a football, basketball kind of guy growing up. So, and baseball, obviously. And then that is out number 3. Down goes Turner, but not after Bryson Stott with that big solo dinger into right field. And now we're down by 3 here in the top of the 5th inning. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners. And we need to get back on the board, and maybe we can get the similar, production that we got from JP and Randy previously, because we're going to need it. Let's get on the board this inning. Try to get it to 4-2 or 4-3. Next up, 1-for-1 with a double, JP Crawford. We need another double right here. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K. Just get on fucking base with a walk, Dylan Moore. And then batting third with a double, 1-for-2 with an RBI, left fielder Randy Arozarena. So, we can get a double, a single or a walk, and then a single or double here. We can get to 4-2, maybe even 4-3 before the inning is over, hopefully. Trident's up. Let's go M's. All right, we're at 64 likes. All right, we're almost there. 36 more to go to hit that number. Now we're at 65. Thank you so much. 35 more to go to hit the goal for the stream. Let's go, baby. And we're at 10, 12, say 10, 20, 22. We're at 27 on the Dono train. 73 to go. Let's go, JP. Yeah, that would be great. And, like if we could have a Lou Piniella type, unfortunately, with Dan Wilson, this is his first year. Obviously never been a manager before. We like the vibes probably better than Scott Service, where we kind of knew where he was and you knew he wasn't really going to change the way with his methods, and both guys have shown that they've kept guys in too long, brought in the wrong guy, pulled guys too early. But every manager usually deals with those things. And unfortunately for baseball, there's only, usually like 5 good managers out of 30 teams. It's not like, the NFL where you can upgrade your offensive coordinator to a head coach or defensive coordinator or grab someone from college. It's not like you can grab the best coach in college baseball and like, oh, that's going to be our new manager. It just doesn't work like that. It's just a lot of guys that are in the game, former players, someone gets fired, and it's kind of like kind of like the NBA, where and even in the NBA, you get college coaches that do get the call up, like Calipari and some of these guys in the past, Rick Pitino, every once in a while. But sometimes you start to learn certain guys are built for being mentors for young men, and other, coaches are good for guys with egos. Not every coach is going to be able to be elite in college and the pro, like, Harbaugh or Pete Carroll, for example. Some guys are just, better in one sport or the other. So 1-2 pitch. And JP with a beautiful single to right. There we go. JP Crawford trying to win. Ice water in his veins, baby. Let's get on the board. Let's get it to at least 4-2 this inning, baby. 4-3 would be the best, though. Next up, right fielder Dylan Moore. We need a single or, I don't expect a home run or a double or a triple, but, I'll take a walk, a plunk, or a single if we can get it. Come on now. Let's go, Demo. First pitch to Demo, swings, flies out to right, and that is one away. No surprise there. All right, Randy, let's be a hero. You already got a double and, got JP to come in. Now we're going to need another single double or possibly maybe that 2-run blast. I mean, I did put you on the thumb. Is this the day that we get the home run from Randy Arozarena and then we get it to 4-3? That would be best case scenario. Let's go, baby. Find that pitch, baby. Let's go. First pitch from Sanchez to Randy. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Yeah, I always see things there at Mill Creek Sports Cards. They always have professional players there and a bunch of special things that are going on in that particular location. I've never been and whatnot, but it seems like a pretty cool place. I got a King Griffey Jr. McFarland exclusive from Clark Toys, and obviously there's also different exclusives out in that area, and again, I've always wanted to go out into those areas to find a few of those memorabilia shops or card shops and whatnot, but 1-1 pitch. And Arozarena lines out to right, and that is 2 away. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. We could use home run number 48 at this at-bat. Come on, Cal. Let's get it to 4-3, baby. Trident's up. He's at 47. The record for home runs is Salvador Perez with 48. And obviously that was for a full season. So we figure Cal will, end up hitting quite a few more. So let's see what we get here from Cal. First pitch. Cal crushes it all the way back to the wall. And safe. Big double for Cal. Now we got runners at second and third for Julio. Now we need that 3-run bomb or an RBI by Julio to get back in the game. Let's go, J-Rod. Perfect position for you to peak. Let's go. Trident's up. Top of the fifth. We're down by 3. And we got runners at second and third with 2 outs. Come on, Julio. Trident's up, baby. Let's go. Come on, J-Rod. We got to take advantage. We're not going to have this many opportunities against a guy like Christopher Sanchez. So, first pitch to Julio and grounds out to the pitcher, and that is out number 3. Brutal. But again, that happens. It's baseball. But another missed opportunity by the Mariners. It would have been really sweet to be able to get a single, double, triple, or home run there to at least cut the lead to 4-2 at the very least. But it's not our day today at this point. But again, we're only down 3. It's still a lot, but it's a lot better than being down 6 in the first 2 innings like we did yesterday. And we did rally late. So hopefully once Sanchez goes out, they'll bring in a righty, hopefully Romero or someone of that nature that might be able to have a meltdown. And then maybe we'll be able to catch up then. So let's see who's up next here for the Phillies in the bottom of the 5th. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah. I mean, I got a Cal autograph, through Topps Heritage Card rookie. I got a couple Julio autographs. I got quite a few Griffey autographs and whatnot. So, but I like to be able to meet people in person, but I don't want to, I don't want to necessarily go to a show and have to pay like that. I mean, I guess if you're rich, it doesn't matter, but for me, I want to be able to go to a game and catch a ball, and then see if I can get it signed or, rather than, going to a store and having to pay a crazy fee, when I could, go to a game, catch a foul ball and then wait in the front with a bunch of kids and then see if I can get, Julio or Cal to sign the ball and then, obviously get it for free or make a sign and trade some nerd clusters to Julio for an autograph or something. You have to understand what the players want, and then you have to be crafty enough. And obviously, kids get first bid. No doubt about that. You know what I mean? But I've been extremely lucky. I've only been to 9, 10 Mariner games, and I already have 3 baseballs. And again, my best friend Justin has been to 50 to 100 games for the Dodgers and Mariners, and he's never gotten a ball. So I got a ball from Kike Hernandez, foul ball, when the Dodgers came to town a year or 2 before COVID, around 2019. I got a Julio rookie foul ball in 2022. And then 2 weeks later, I predicted I would get an Aaron Judge ball when he came to town, and I did. And so those are the 3 balls that I have: Kike Hernandez, Julio Rodriguez rookie foul ball and an Aaron Judge ball in the year that he hit the 62 home runs. So that's pretty good, for only being to like 9 games. I mean, I'm getting a ball every like 3 games. So, and it's not easy to get a ball, let me tell you. You have to have your head on a swivel and you have to act quick and have to have a little bit of luck as well. Sports gods got to love you. First pitch from Miller to Schwarber, low and away, 1-0 count. But my buddy Justin, like, I want to get him a ball, and he was sitting right next to me when I got the Julio ball. So that was the closest he's ever been to getting a ball. But other than that, I would love for my best friend to be able to get one himself. And then if not, the next one I get, I would want to give it to him. So 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Miller to Schwarber. 2-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Schwarber. But also I got 2 AAA balls when I was 10, and I got batting gloves. So when the Portland Beavers existed in Oregon, they were the AAA affiliate for the Twins when Kirby Puckett and the Minnesota Twins were World Series champions. So in that little run, I would go to games in the late 80s, early 90s, and I was lucky enough to get, I sprained my ankle twice, but I ended up getting a couple foul balls, and I snuck down to the front row and hollered at the players after a big home run, and I got one of the players to throw up their batting gloves to me, and I still have the batting gloves in a Ziploc bag from 1992, the same bag, and they're still sitting in there. So, I think that kind of prepared me on what I needed to do to be able to get a ball when I went to the Mariners. So, I'm 43 and I've gotten 5 baseballs, 2 in AAA and 3 in professional. So 3-2 pitch, and Schwarber strikes out swinging, and that is 1 away. Next up, in the 3th hole, first baseman 0 for 1 with an RBI, Bryce Harper. 4-1 Phillies, and again, it's, it doesn't feel like it's over, but again, we definitely need to try to cut into the lead, and try to get it to 4-2 or 4-3. Harper screaming at the ump, or is that Schwarber? Schwarber on the previous at-bat. First pitch from Miller to Harper, takes a strike swinging right down the middle, 0-1 count. Yeah, but, no matter if you have someone throw one to you after the inning ends, like typically after, the Mariners have an inning end, it's usually J.P. Crawford, that will throw the balls into the, behind the Mariner dugout. And even if you catch a ball from him after the inning ends, it's still going to touch a few players, at that point, and it's still a cool piece. I've never gotten a home run ball, but I've never sat in a home run section. I'm always sitting off first base or third base because that's the best percentage to get a ball. And I got the Kike and the Julio ball off first base, off the Mariner, dugout, about 15, 20 rows back. And then I got the Judge ball in the Yankee side off third base. So, and normally I don't sit over there, but the person that I ended up going with was, a Judge guy and a Giancarlo Stanton fan. He was a Marlin fan. So, I figured, okay, we'll sit over here. And, I ended up having some good luck. So 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Harper. And again, I've never knocked anybody over. I'm not like Zach Hampel. I'm not stealing home runs or balls from kids. It's like, I'm just going to be able to try to scrap for one if it comes towards me. So 1-2 pitch and in play, and Harper grounds out to first, and that is 2 away. But I'll tell you what, once you actually get a ball for the first time, there's nothing that gives you that same kind of thrill. Like if you already love baseball and then you end up getting a ball, like your fandom goes to a whole nother level. Like there's just, I can't even put it into words what it feels like when you end up getting a ball, out of 20, 30, 40,000 people. It's just undescribable. First pitch to JT Realmuto, grounds out to second, and that is out number 3. End of the 5th inning, 4-1 Phillies. Let's get to at least 2. Let's try to get 1 run here, preferably 2 or 3, but beggars can't be choosers. Let's see if we can get 1 to cut it to 4-2. And again, if we can get anything more than that, that would be gravy. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2, good vibes only, Julio Suarez. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, Josh Naylor. Come on, Josh, I need you, baby. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher Mitch Garver. Let's go, Mitch. Again, you don't expect certain guys like Garver or Cole Young to hit homers, but again, you never know who might be an unsung hero. Hell, it could even be Dylan Moore if he's still in the game late, but I wouldn't mind if we ended up substituting someone else for him late and actually have someone that gives us a better chance to get something. But also, Dominic Canzone got hit in the wrist. He had an MRI, which I didn't mention at the beginning of the broadcast. I just talked about the 10-game suspension by Victor Robles once he gets called up. But the MRI results were negative. So, good thing for Dominic Canzone, but I don't think you're going to see him come in today. They'll probably let him rest that wrist, but you never know. I mean, I imagine he iced it really heavy last night and this morning, but I imagine they'll want to give him at least a day off. The earliest we're going to see Dom would probably be tomorrow, but I don't think that we're going to see him today. So. I never got a chance to get a Randy Johnson ball or a Griffey ball or anything like that, but like I said, I got autograph photos. I met Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. when I was 7, Sandy Koufax when I was 10. So again, getting a ball is one thing, but when you're like that close to Ken Griffey Jr. and, like when you end up meeting someone, in their rookie year and they're going to be a Hall of Famer and it's going to be like a special moment, like I can almost remember this day as it was yesterday. I'm 43. I was 7 in this photo with my dad and, still got the rookie card. And at that point, I didn't have the upper deck. I ended up getting the upper deck coveted card later. I had this card, I had the Bowman, I had the Fleer. So I had most of the Ken Griffey Jr. cards, but I thought that he looked like a pimp, in the Donruss card. So, and a lot of those other cards were only worth like 10 to 15 bucks. So at that point, I was like, okay, what's going to look best with a blue signature? And I thought, he looked like a pimp. I've always liked this junk wax era of the rated rookie Donruss. I like the colors. If you remember back in the 80s and 90s, it was a lot of purple and turquoise, and there was a certain type of color scheme that was very popular back then, and I kind of like that vibe. First pitch to Eugenio Suarez, all the way back to the wall, and beautiful. Doesn't homer, but ends up getting a double. Amazing. Wow, he misses a home run by literally inches. If he would have hit it more towards center, it would have been gone by 10 feet. Just kind of bad luck based on where he hit that ball, but nice job by Eugenio Suarez. And again, he missed a home run there by inches. Unbelievable. There we go. Good vibes only. Crushed it right down the middle. Great follow-through swing, Geno. Next up is Josh Naylor. Let's go, baby. First pitch from Sanchez to Naylor. Takes a strike, swinging low and away, 0-1 count. Like I said, every Mariner fan is going to be built a little bit different, and some of us are going to be fans from the 70s or the 80s, some from the 90s, and obviously some from the 2000s or even within the last 5 years. And just one of those things, it's not always going to be pretty, but again, it's about the passion. And even though we're the only team that's never been to a World Series at this point, and the next 10 to 20 years, we will. We may not win the first time that we go, but one thing is for sure, at least we have some of the best players that have ever played. Griffey, Randy Johnson, right? Edgar Martinez, Ichiro, Julio, Cal, and obviously we'll see down the road if we add any others down that big list. First pitch to Naylor, big swing and a miss, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Naylor. Come on, Josh. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Naylor. Come on, Josh. We could really use a big RBI here. 1-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss, and down goes Naylor on strikes, and that is 1 away. It's crazy. Naylor was great, and Geno was doing nothing. Now Geno is tearing it up, and Naylor's giving us nothing. Can we please just get both guys to play well together instead of just one or the other? Please. Come on, sports gods. Next up is catcher Mitch Garver, 0 for 2 with a K. Let's see if Mitch can get a single or double for an RBI. First pitch from Sanchez to Garver, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Top of the 6th inning, 4-1 Philadelphia with a runner at second and 1 out. And again, at this point, we just have to chip away. Go from 4-1 to 4-2, or 4-1 to 4-2, 4-2 to 4-3, unless we can get a 2-run homer. And then if we get to 4-3, that's probably the best case scenario. Ever since he got sick, he's been in a slump. And again, anyone that's ever been sick before, they would know that too. I did have a Ken Griffey Jr. autographed All-Star baseball that was authentic, from one of the old school All-Star games that Griffey participated in, but I ended up giving that to my best friend. So, a lot of my memorabilia I'll end up passing over to him and whatnot, just because I know that he'll never sell it, and he's a big Mariner fan as well. So if you look at the, thumbnail, for the channel, that individual that's with me, that's my best friend. So we always go to games together and whatnot, and I've given him Julio autographs, Julio jersey pieces, Griffey stuff, Edgar Martinez, Ichiro. Like just a couple weeks ago, I gave him, a big stack of Ichiro cards, like 60 of them, that I collected, during Ichiro's run with the Mariners and whatnot. So, it's one of those things, if you have someone that's a good friend, you want to make sure that you pass along some of that stuff. Obviously I'm not going to be able to be like King Tut and being buried with all my stuff, but I will do some kind of scavenger hunt for some of my stuff though before I'm gone. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Garver. I got a lot. I've been collecting sports cards, toys, magazines, posters, you name it. And I've been collecting, since the 80s. And I would say probably 95 to 98% of my collection is still in the box, like mint condition. So, Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joes, McFarlane, starting lineups, sports cards, wrestling figures, you name it. I probably got something, related to that subject. 2-2 pitch, low and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Sanchez to Garver. And hopefully we'll see Sanchez leaving. He's been very dominant, 10 Ks already, and he's had 81 pitches. So he potentially could go one more inning, but we'll see what they decide to do. Top of the 6th, 4-1 Philadelphia lead. 3-2 pitch, and Garver grounds out to third, throw to first, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, Jorge Polanco. Could this be the at-bat that we get the 2-run jack to get it to 4-3? Let's go, Polo. Make it happen, baby. First pitch from Sanchez to Polo. Takes a strike swinging, 0-1 count. Just got to get a pitch right down the middle for him. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful when you give stuff away, to certain people. When certain people are low on cash, again, it all depends on the relationship that you have. And unfortunately, sometimes, you give something to someone, and hopefully that they'll cherish like you did and keep it or enjoy it. And then sometimes you get those friends that don't appreciate, what you did, and then they just sell it for cash at the time. And luckily with my friend, he'll never do that. He's a collector like myself. So, then that's the only reason why I can still feel good, about giving a lot of my high-end collectibles that are worth, $20, $50, $100, $200, $300, and I don't have a problem doing it. I appreciate it sitting on my, shelves and on my dresser, but at some point, I want to be able to share that greatness with someone else. And down goes Polo on strikes, and that is out number 3. And hopefully we get Sanchez out after this inning, but his pitch count is still pretty low. He may go 1 more, but fingers crossed, hopefully he's out after that inning, so we can actually start having hopefully a meltdown as someone in the pen. 4-1 Philadelphia. We got 6 hits today. They only have 4. We have an error, but we haven't hit the home run yet, and we're going to need a 2-run or 3-run blast to get back into this. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And even though we're down by 3, we're bringing in Bizzardo. Thank God. We're actually bringing in someone good. And hopefully Bizzardo can keep this lead at 4-1. And, whether they bring in Spire or Brash, after that, hopefully the bats can come alive and we can get somebody, Julio, Cal, Randy, Polo, JP, someone to hit a home run to get us back into this. Bottom of the 6th, 4-1 Philadelphia. All right, Bizzardo, we need you to be great. Next up, third baseman, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, 5-hole hitter, Alec Bohm. Batting second, left fielder, Brandon Marsh. And batting third, right fielder, Nick Castellanos. Let's go, Bizzardo. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 26 more likes to get to the goal. Let's go, baby. I appreciate you all day. And shout out to you, with you and the wifey. And, I believe you have 2 daughters, right? Are they twins? Or are they separated, by... Obviously, when I seen the photos, it looks like they're twins, but I couldn't tell for sure. But anyone that ends up having a son or a daughter, let alone twins, or a son and a daughter, or 2 sons or 2 daughters, it's a lot of responsibility. And shout out to you, to be able to manage, being a father of twins, and having to manage the, going from the stages of dating to girlfriend to wife and trying to make everything work, beautifully, as well as putting in the time and the energy here. I do appreciate you very, very much. Bottom of the 6th, 4-1 Philadelphia. If the Phillies go off this inning, you'll see Trey Turner and a few more batters, but realistically, you'll probably see him in the bottom of the 7th, unless they go on a rally. It's Bohm, Marsh, Castellanos, and then Bader, Stott, and then Turner. So he's still like 6 batters away with Trey Turner. Obviously, you're looking for some kind of parlay hit or a home run to win, so I get it. First pitch to Bohm from Pizzardo, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Pizzardo to Bohm. 0-2 pitch, and a single right up the middle off Pizzardo, which is rare. And a nice hit there by Bohm. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've never been married. I don't got any kids. Obviously I have dreams and goals, and I just, haven't had the luxury of, meeting that perfect person, in my life at this point. But again, it's one of those things. If it's meant to be, it'll happen at some point. But shout out to you, man. I can only imagine what raising twins would be like, let alone just raising one newborn. First pitch from Pizzardo to Marsh, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. But I treat my Paisley pup, as a dog father, like she's pretty much my daughter, and a lot of energy and a lot of effort is put in, especially when you have an American staffy. It's like you have to put in the love and the time and the energy. And I've been able to walk 5 miles a day, 7 days a week for 2 years in a row. And again, if you would have told me that I would be able to do that a few years ago, I would say you're crazy. Like, to exercise every day, you're crazy. But also I was drinking heavy back then. I had depression and anxiety, and now with the pup, I don't have depression, I don't have anxiety, I'm healthy, and I feel a lot better. 1-1 pitch, and Marsh crushes it to center, but Julio is there, back to the wall, and that is 1 away. Thank God. Holy cow. Shep in the building. What's good? That's my boy. Next up is right fielder Nick Castellanos. Bottom of the 6th, 4-1 Philadelphia with a runner at first and 1 out. 0-for-2 Castellanos in the box. Edward Pizzardo on the mound. Good to see you, Shep. Congratulations on your new hire on the job there. Hopefully that goes well. And again, if anyone deserves, good blessings in your life, it's you. And Shep is the one that has the single donation record on the channel, 1,300. We've had, donations as low as 99 cents to $1, and, many at the 20, 50, 100, 200, 500 range. And, hopefully, things will start going in your favor, which they should. You're a good person. First pitch to Castellanos, and pops up to center, and that is 2 away. So people donate. If you go to YouTube, there will be like a little dollar sign that you click on, and you can put like your debit card in there and donate that way. You can also donate through Venmo or Cash App. So those are really the 3 ways that people typically donate to me. If they don't have a Cash App, they usually ask if you have Venmo, and then I give my Venmo username or whatnot. But those are usually the 3 ways that people will typically donate to the dream. First pitch from Pizzardo to Bader, low and away. Should have been called strike, but called ball right down in the square, which is odd. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes from Pizzardo to Bader. And luckily I've been one of those people that has, in the past, got, $100 donos, $200 donos, and, even $500 donos. And obviously, certain people that are doing that, it's not that they're rich, they're just hardworking and they're being generous, and it's not very many people would even have the love or consideration to even think of doing that, and then to let alone think about it and then do it is a whole other category. But again, we do have some of the best fans on planet Earth here, and I really do appreciate it. I put in a lot of hustle and work here. So 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Bader. But again, I work almost 7 days a week. I work on my birthday, work on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Again, I do pretty much everything: basketball, baseball, football, hockey, NASCAR, wrestling. I mean, there really isn't anybody else that's doing what I do. So it's just a matter of, grinding it out until we get the right people to recognize what I'm doing. And that is out number 3. End of the 6th inning. We're down by 3. Good job by Bizzardo there. Next up is J.P. Crawford. I think with the super stickers, that is something that a sticker will pop up with the dono, but you don't have to necessarily do the sticker option, I believe. So, I think it gives you an option where you can do it comes up with like a little emoji, with your dono, but you don't have to do that. You can always just type in a message and whatnot. So some people will just do the standard, dono and put their little message in like that, and then sometimes people will, put in their emoji for the super sticker, I believe. But I think the format has changed over the last year or so. They used to have it on a different spot on your phone, and obviously on your phone or your desktop. But, again, I think you have to actually open up the chat, and then you should be able to see something there in the chat itself. And then let me see what it looks like. Yeah. So in the bottom right-hand corner, there'll be a dollar sign that starts flashing blue when you initially open up the chat. And then if you don't just open it up, it's on the bottom right corner with a dollar sign, and then you just hit that and then follow the prompts and whatnot. So end of the 6th inning, 4-1 Philadelphia. But anyone that's willing to sub, donate, comment, share, anything positive to help us grow is greatly appreciated. Next up for the Mariners, having himself a great game, 2 for 2 with a run, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Let's see if we can get you another single or double here or home run. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, Dylan Moore. At this point, we'll take anything positive. And batting third, 1 for 3 with an RBI, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And when we scored, we got a double by JP and a double by Randy. Randy knocked him in. But again, we're still waiting for a home run. And when the Mariners don't hit home runs, we typically don't win. We have to hit at least a home run or 2 to be able to be in a game, especially when 50% of our runs are typically home runs. So when you end up not getting a home run, that usually leads to a loss. We're not really built to get, 10 hits and 5 RBIs and win that way, 4-3. It's we're normally needing a home run or 2 or 3 to compete with whoever we're playing with. So first pitch from Sanchez to Crawford, and this should be the last inning for Christopher Sanchez, thank God. The guy is just killing it. First pitch to JP, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. Yeah, again, I'm working pretty much every day. I'm spending, a lot of time with the pup, walking 3 times a day, 5 miles a day. So, I'm eating healthy, not really trying to eat a whole lot of fast food and whatnot, and just trying to, do what I need to do to be successful. So not really hanging out with a whole lot of people as well, trying to stay focused on the dreams and the goals. So 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. But good to see you in the room, my guy. Hopefully the Braves are doing well, and I do think that good things are coming your way, like I told you they would. Time heals, everything, but sometimes things, end up being a little dark, for a while, but eventually the light will come through. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes J.P. Crawford from Christopher Sanchez, and that is 1 away. Next up is right fielder Dylan Moore. We gained a couple subs. 85 to go to 21,600. Shout out to the few subs that we just got here in the stream. Appreciate you. 1-1 pitch. High and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dylan Moore. Come on, Demo. Dylan, definitely the worst player on the team. It was him and Carlos Vargas, but Vargas has actually been pretty good as of late. Still, not someone that I trust, but still not as bad as Legomina or Kowar that got sent down to AAA today. But Dylan is definitely by far the worst player on the team, and I can think of about 4 or 5 guys on AAA right now that I would want other than him, but it's also based off position that he can play. 2-1 pitch. Low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Sanchez to Moore. Justin with a tenner. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. And again, when you're donating to a stream, you're donating to a dream. Thank you so much. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. And Demo with a walk. Unbelievable. There we go. Anything positive, we'll take that. And Dylan Moore to first with the walk. Top of the 7th. Runner at first with 1 out. And that might be the last batter that Christopher Sanchez goes against. And next up is Randy Arozarena. That's 1 for 3. Yeah, Sanchez is done, and they're going to bring in my twin, Orion Kerkering. Look at Christopher Sanchez final line as a top 5 pitcher in the MLB this year. 6.1 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 12 fucking Ks, 96 pitches, 63 strikes, 2.41 ERA. And even though that he's on the Phillies, that deserves an applause. That is not something that's easy to do. And again, I don't like seeing players play elite against us, but I'm not going to be a hater, when someone plays well. Unfortunately, it happened against the Seattle Mariners there, but great job there by Christopher Sanchez. And that shows you why that he's 11-4 with a 2.45 ERA. And it shows you why he's a top 5 pitcher with Skubal, Skeens, Crochet, himself, Christopher Sanchez, and Hunter Brown on the Astros. Unbelievable. But now that he's out, hopefully we can end up, having a meltdown, by, somebody in the pen, but it probably won't be Orion Kerkering. So my twin, the only other Orion in MLB, but we'll see how it goes. You never know. Normally when Orion comes in, he's pretty lights out, but we'll see if we can get a few hits on him. I would love to be able to cut into this lead. We're already down 3, so we need to get a run this inning, a run in the 8th, and a run in the 9th, and we just have to pray that we can go into extras and win like 5-4. Easier said than done, but again, we do need a home run, solo dinger, 2-run jack, 3-run jack, or a grand salami to get back into this. So Turner is 1 for 3 with a run at this point. So, and then we'll see who comes up after this inning is over. But I believe he'll be up in the next inning, in the bottom of the 7th, I believe, but I could be wrong. First pitch from Orion Kerkering to Randy Arozarena. Low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Low and at the knees, 2 balls and no strikes from Kerkering to Arozarena. Come on, baby. 2-0 pitch. High and inside. 3 balls and no strikes from Orion Kerkering to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. We got to take advantage. Maybe we can get a meltdown by Orion, and we can find a way here. 3-0 pitch. Uh-oh, meltdown. There we go. 4 straight balls, and now we got runners at first and second. That's what we needed. We just needed Christopher Sanchez to leave, and now we're going to have a chance. Here we go. Next up is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, and with 1 swing, he can tie the game up 4-4 and also tie the home run record for a catcher with 48. He's at 47 right now. Please, sports gods, do you hear me? Can we please make this happen? Cal Raleigh with a 3-run blast to tie it up 4-4. If that happens, we're going to have a good chance to come back and win. Let's go. First pitch from Kerkering to Cal, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 5 straight balls from Orion Kerkering. We'll take that. Meltdown, meltdown, meltdown. Uh-oh. 1-0 pitch. Should have been called strike, but called ball. 6 straight balls in a row from Orion Kerkering. Here we go. 2 balls and no strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. I mean, we don't want to necessarily just have guys keep walking because we don't have the best of luck when we have bases loaded sometimes. Sometimes we hit it into a double play and we get nothing. So, we need a home run, and this would be a great time to get it, either between Cal or Julio or both. Come on, Cal. 2-0 pitch, and another pitch that should have been called strike but called ball. Wow, 7 straight balls in a row from Orion Kerkering. Unbelievable. 3 balls and no strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. The last 2 pitches should have been strike. 3-0 pitch, and another walk. 8 straight balls in a row, and now we have bases loaded. Uh-oh. But again, now we have to pray that Julio doesn't hit into a double play, which sometimes he does. Don't hit into the DP. You feel me? Come on, Julio. And again, if he doesn't hit a grand salami, that's fine, but you've got to be able to get a single or double to bring in a couple. Come on, Julio. This is the best position that we've been in, but again, 8 straight balls, but 2 of them, should have been strikes, and Orion Kerkering's day may be done. Come on now. Kerkering got ripped off on a couple of those pitches against Cal. I mean, they were right in the box, so I'm not really sure what the ump was looking at, and again, they're going over, strategy here. But does Julio have the discipline to not swing at all and then just taking the freebie, from third to come in, or is he going to try to be the hero and then hit into a double play? Again, best case scenario, grand salami or like an RBI, double, but we got to be able to see Julio mature here. Let's see what he does. First pitch from Kerkering to Julio. Takes a strike looking on the line, 0-1 count. Come on, J-Rod. If we don't get anything here, the chance of us coming back probably won't happen. We might be able to do something in the 8th or the 9th, but we're not going to have very many options or opportunities like this. Bases loaded, 1 out, right? Here we go. Julio in play. 0-1 pitch. He grounds out to the pitcher, but Demo with speed scores from third. Yes, 4-2. Philadelphia, 2 away. There we go. Nice job, Julio. There we go. We like that. Now we're in the top of the 7th, and we got the perfect batter up. And this would be perfect timing if you could end up doing some magic. Geno Suarez, right? He's already 2 for 3 today. And we know that when he's on, Naylor is typically off. Could we end up seeing a big RBI by Geno here? If Geno gets the RBI, it'll be 4-4. Let's see if we can get something here. We'll even take a 4-3, but we got runners at second and third. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Kerkering to Suarez. Come on, baby. We need to go from 4-2 to 4-3 to 4-4, baby. We win today. We'll have a chance tomorrow with Castillo on the bump. So not really ideally the swing that you wanted out of Julio, kind of a check swing, but at least he ended up scoring. Dylan Moore from third, so we'll take that. Top of the 7th, 4-2 Philadelphia. Thank God Christopher Sanchez is no longer in the matchup. Orion Kerkering having a meltdown, and hopefully we can keep taking advantage. Come on, Geno. Yes, Geno. Let's go. Let's go. And Geno on a 2-0 pitch hits it into left field. Let's go, baby. A big double. A Rosarina scores. Cal Raleigh scores. 4-4. We're tied up, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Sometimes you got to talk that shit into existence, right? And Geno has been hot today, like JP. And again, they brought in the right guy. It may have not been Jordan Romano, who's got an ERA of like fucking 8. But did you see that play? When Geno hit that ball, it took a weird bounce off the wall. And when it deflected, that was able to get that last guy in, Cal Raleigh. and now we're tied up at 4, and we got the momentum, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Got to talk it into existence, baby. And you can always tell what guys are hot. And again, this is the best game Geno arguably has had since joining the Seattle Mariners. And especially with Naylor being on a slump now, great job by Julio Suarez. Sometimes, you know, when you watch the game closely, good vibes only. We're tied up at 4, baby. Let's go. Next up is Josh Naylor. Hell yeah. Much better than yesterday than Logan Gilbert, you know, giving up 6 runs in the first 2 innings. And now we actually have all the Uncle Mo. We have all the momentum. And hopefully we can have another meltdown by the next pitcher. And we can still score a couple more runs. Hell, at this point, we may not have to win 5-4 in extras in 10, 11, or 12. Hell, we might be able to win this game 5-4 or 6-5 in regulation. Let's go. And, you know, the crazy thing is we don't have the home run yet. And we're going to get one more than likely. So what's the home run going to be? Solo jack? 2-run blast? 3-run jack? Grand salami? I don't know. Top of the 7th, though. 4-4 with a runner at second. And another great rally with 2 outs. Let's go, baby. Geno, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And Orion Kirkering is done. Thank you, Orion, for having a meltdown. Good vibes only, baby. For all those people that were complaining about Geno, now you can't really say anything, right? You know, and again, you know, Geno wasn't very good, and then Naylor was amazing. But now Naylor got sick, and now Naylor's not doing anything, and now Geno's stepping up. You know, had a home run a few games ago, was able to get a single here, single there. But we've been waiting for that big game, you know, where Geno hits like a home run or 2, or, you know, goes 3 for 4 or 2 for 4 to have some impact. And finally, we get that big Geno game, especially late in the matchup against a very good Philadelphia Philly World Series contending team. And again, they don't lose at home, and we don't really win on the road. And again, sometimes all it takes is one meltdown by a pitcher, and you get right back in it. And that's exactly how it happened. Let's go. Yeah, Jalen McMillan landed on his neck, and so he's going to miss probably the first 2 months of the season. So we've had some injuries to some of the guys, and I know Atlanta will be threatening. You know, the Panthers and the Saints aren't going to be that good this year. So, yeah, it'll be down to the Falcons and Bucks, but I do assume even with some of the injuries with Godwin still recovering and McMillan just fucked his neck up, and, you know, we still got Bucky Irving, we still got Mike Evans and a few pieces. So I still feel that we should be able to win, you know, 11 or 12 games and win the division for the 5th year in a row. But I do believe the Falcons will be right there, you know, but again, will they be on the Buck level? We'll wait and see. 0-1 pitch. And Naylor flies out to second, and his struggles continue, and that is out number 3. We weren't able to take the lead, but it's okay. You know, when you end up being down, you know, for a good chunk of the game, and then you end up scoring 3 when you're down 4-1, we'll take it. And maybe we can find a way to win this game 5-4 in regulation, or maybe even score 6 or 7 before this one is up. Let's go. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a chance that the Panthers could be better than the Saints. I mean, Saints could finish in last place this year. That's you know, legitimate, could happen, you know, so. But I definitely feel that if you look at our roster with Baker and, you know, the defense, and we have some defensive injuries and offensive injuries, but even with that being said, I mean, again, I think we would trust Baker a little bit more than Michael Penix Jr., even though we know Michael Penix Jr. has the skill set. But, you know, Baker has been playing like a top 5, top 10 quarterback the last couple of years, and he's definitely underrated. And, you know, I like our chances. Bucky Irving will have a breakout year, and we'll see what happens. All right, Gabe Spire is coming in from Bizardo, so at least we get to use our good bullpen guys. And thankfully, Orion Kirkering had a meltdown, and we're tied up at 4. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and obviously 15 subs. That's what we typically go for. Next up, in the 9 hole, 1 for 1 with 2 runs, an RBI, and a base on ball, Bryson Stott. Nice home run by Bryson early in the game. Batting second, shortstop Trey Turner, and batting third, DHing Kyle Schwarber. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We got Gabe Spire coming in, so I got to get the Gabe photo going here. Great comeback, baby. $63 to get to the dono goal. Let's get there, baby. Now, Panthers could be a little bit better, maybe not playoff good, but better than they have been lately. Seahawks, might be a little bit better, especially with the Niners losing some of the depth. Seahawks could maybe get second place in that division. We'll have to keep an eye on the Seahawks and the Cardinals and see how the Niners fit into that equation. Still think the Rams look like the best team, in the NFC West for the moment, but we'll see how things progress, but we'll see with the Rams and the Hawks and the Niners and Tampa Bay and obviously the Falcons. You already know the Eagles and the Commandos will be battling it out. Giants and Cowboys won't really be anything. And then you got the Lions and the Packers and the Vikings, battling it out, and the Bears will still be at the bottom. And then obviously in the AFC, you still got the teams that that will be pretty good with the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens, and again, you're going to get a surprise team here and there and whatnot. There's always going to be a worst to first or third to first. And obviously there'll be teams that were good last year that won't be good this year based off injuries or bad plays. So should be pretty exciting for the NFL and college football. First pitch from Spire to Stott. High and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bryson Stott. 1-1 pitch, in play, grounds out to first, toe tap on the bag, 1 away. Here we go. Momentum is going for Seattle now. Let's go. Next up is Trey Turner. Fire on the mound, Turner in the box. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch from Spire to Turner. Takes a strike looking, low and away, 0-1 count. Yeah, but that's just who Geno is, Marine Bean, and you know that even when he was on the Mariners, when he was on the Diamondbacks, very streaky, home run or strikeout, and then as of late, he's been able to, change his swing up a little bit instead of trying to hit a homer, just trying to, hit it in play. Kind of like Julio at the beginning of the year, every swing was like a moonshot swing and it was hurting him. And now he's learning that, okay, I'm going to take what they're going to give me. And some swings are going to be singles, doubles swings, and other swings I'm going to be going for the moonshot, and again, once you can adjust your game like that, instead of just going for the home run swing because you're a top 5 home run guy, at some point, if you don't adjust, you're just going to be striking out and hurting your team, and certain guys will be able to pick that up sooner than later. But I would agree with Geno being streaky. But now, Geno's hot, Naylor's cold. And earlier, Naylor was hot, Geno was cold. We need both to be hot. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Spire to Turner. And there's going to be peaks and valleys. Some guys are going to be hot, others are going to be cold, and others are just going to suck ass like Dylan Moore, right? So, and hopefully Victor Robles will get his suspension cut down in half to 5 games, and then we'll be able to use him in right field, and then the no-fly zone will be complete again with Randy, Julio, and Victor. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Trey Turner. Bottom of the 7th, 4-4, Mariners and Phillies. Orion Kirkering with a meltdown with 3 runs, and the Mariners tied it up. 2-2 pitch, in play, grounds out to Geno, and that is 2 away. There we go, baby. I see you, Geno. We need the defense. Hey, but we need that good vibes only. We need that offense, baby. Next up, DHing in the 2-hole, Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber had a Schwarber bomb against Bryce Miller in the first inning. But again, since then, hasn't done a whole lot. 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, and a K. Let's not give up a late home run here. First pitch from Spire to Schwarber, takes a strike looking, high and away, 0-1 count. But much better today than yesterday. I mean, yesterday was goddamn depressing, in the first half of the game, down 6-0. A lot of people turned that shit off. I don't blame them, but again, when you do this for a full-time job, I don't have the luxury of doing that. I have to be able to go through the ups and the downs, and I can't quit, right? I got to keep going. And luckily, we were able to fight back. Even though we didn't win yesterday, it was a good effort to get to 7. We could have easily lost 12-0. So again, if we didn't get to 7 runs yesterday, we probably don't get to 4 today. Facts. Little slow dribbler, throw to first, and down he goes. I like it. Schwarber grounds out to first, and that is the end of the inning. There we go. Momentum is back in the Mariners' favor. Good job by the good guys that we have in the pen. Great job by Bizzardo. Great job by Spire. And then we still have an opportunity for Brash in the 8th and Mooney in the 9th. Let's go. Let's see who's up for the Mariners here next, and let's see if we can take the fucking lead. What do you say? Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a K. We did have a home run yesterday. Can you do something here? It's Schwarber. Batting second, 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. He's overdue for a home run in the last 10 games. He's been so close. He's been hitting them at the wall like every game. Jorge Polanco. We're still looking for that first home run of the game as well. And batting third, having a great game, 2 for 3 with a run and a K, JP Crawford. Ice water in his veins. Let's fucking go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let him know, Connor. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 125 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 15 subs. Gained another sub. 84 to go to get to 21,600. And where are we at on the likes right now? Where are we sitting? We're at 89, so we have 60 people plus that haven't hit the like button. So if we can get like half, we'll be at that number. Now we're at 90, and we have 53 in the room that haven't hit the like button. So out of that 53, if we can get 10, that'll be 100. So hopefully we can get 10 people out to 53 to show some love for all my hard work and effort here, and then we'll be able to get to that number, and that'll hit us into the algorithm even more. Let's go. And obviously the people in the room can help out with that as well. Keep those people honest in the room. You're not going to find another YouTube channel like this, on YouTube, period. Robertson coming in to pitch to Mitch Garver. First pitch to Garv, high and away with the cutter, 1-0 count. And we did get the good Bizzardo and the good Gabe, thank God. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. David Robertson, not David Robinson, not like the Spurs center from back in the day, the Hall of Famer. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. 1-2 pitch, knuckle curve, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Robertson to Garver. Come on, Garv. Top of the 8th, 4-4. I mean, if we were able to battle back like this, we have to win. Again, how often are we going to be able to come back on the road against one of the top 5 teams in the National League and one of the best teams in baseball? World Series contender, Phillies, Cubs, Brewers, Dodgers, Padres. They're very deep. 2-2 pitch, in play, and Garver grounds out. That is 1 away. And then we got the Astros, the Mariners, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and then I guess if you want to include the Yankees, Red Sox, or Guardians, you can, but not sure if anyone really thinks, those 3 teams would, do as good as the Blue Jays, Tigers, Astros, or Mariners. But again, it's not like the Astros and Mariners have been playing that great lately. Teams are going to have the peaks and valleys, but definitely feels like the National League is a little bit stronger at this point, but that doesn't mean the American League can't win the World Series this year. They definitely can. Whoever gets hot and healthy at the right time. We still got a few months until we get into October. First pitch from Robertson to Polo, fouls it off, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. And we finally are being able to get righties up on the mound, so then we can get guys like Cal and Polo to bat from the left side finally, and then we may be able to get the home run that we're finally wanting from our switch hitters from the left rather than from the right. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. Polo in the box. Robertson on the mound. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike, looking low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. 1-2 pitch. Low and away with that knuckle curve by Robertson. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Top of the 8th. We're tied up at 4. Let's see if we can find a way to get a run this inning. We have to try to find a way, somehow, some way to get to 5 in the 8th or the 9th, unless we end up winning 5, 4, and 10, which could happen. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Polo. Nice pitch there by Robertson. And that is 2 away. Pumping his fist with emotion. Next up is JP Crawford. Ice water in his veins. Could we get a late solo dinger by JP here? Let's go, JP. Let him know all day, as well as some of the other regulars. Keep those people in check in the room. Let them know. All right, we're at 98. We need 2 more people out of 55 that haven't hit the like button yet, and we're at 100. We can definitely do that. 2 likes away. 55 people still haven't done it. We should be able to hit that. And if we can get that soon, we might be able to get to 125 before the game is over. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch from Robertson. JP crushes it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford. Let's go. Solo dinger by JP. Let's go. Got to talk it into existence. Ice water in the veins. Swagger, aura. Let's go. Top of the 8th, 4-4 tie. Robertson on the mound, JP Crawford in the box. Come on, baby. But again, if we didn't have a meltdown by Orion Kirkering, we wouldn't have come back in this game more than likely, especially with no home runs. We typically don't win games when we don't homer at least once, and we still have 2 innings to go in regulation to hit that homer unless we end up having a walk-off, which could happen also. But it wouldn't really necessarily be a walk-off because they still would have a chance to be at that in the bottom of the order, if it was in the 10th or the 11th, but you get my drift. 1-2 pitch, incoming. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JP Crawford off that 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss. No, big strikeout looking. And that is the end of the 8th. Brutal. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning, end of the 8th for the Mariners. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th here for the Phillies. We didn't get a meltdown there by Robertson like we did by Kirkering, unfortunately. Let's see who's up next here for Philadelphia. Next up, 0 for 2 with an RBI. 2 homers yesterday, no homers yet today, Bryce Harper. Batting second, 1 for 2 with an RBI, catcher JT Realmuto. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a base on ball, third baseman Alec Bohm. Trident's up, let's go M's. And Brash is coming into the game, and we have to pray that it's the good Brash, not the bad one. We have a chance to win this game. We're going to be able to play our best guys. Bizzardo, Spire, Brash, and Munoz. Those are our 4 best. And so, again, you're not going to be able to get these 4 guys to play together in our bullpen as our closer every game. You want to make sure when those guys do play and the bats do come alive that you don't fucking lose this game. And again, if we win today, we will have a chance tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is super early. It's at like 10 a.m. Pacific. So, set your alarm clock for that respective time, and I will be live. And hopefully we can get the dub. And obviously Bryce Miller, had some, good innings, and then obviously gave up a few runs as well. But overall, the overall outing was pretty good. I mean, it was a lot better than Logan Gilbert the day before, and we still need him to be a little bit better. But think about it. If you're, out for like 2 months and you have your first rehab start, it could have been just as bad as yesterday with Logan Gilbert, and thankfully it wasn't. I mean, he still gave up some runs, but again, it could have been worse, and hopefully as the season goes on, Bryce will get better and better, and he'll get back to true form. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Griffey wants it. Let's go. Bottom of the 8th. We're tied up at 4. We need this bad. especially with those 2 rain delays against the Orioles and that rain delay against the Mets at the Little League Classic. 3 rain delays in a week, and we're 0-6 in rain delays. Fuck that. We need a dub here. Let's go. First pitch from Brash to Harper. High and away. 1-0 count. Let's go, Matt. 1-0 pitch to Bryce. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Harper. Brash on the mound. Bryce Harper in the box. 1-1 pitch. And a nice single to left by Bryce Harper. It's almost inevitable at some point, Bryce is going to get something going. I mean, hell, a lineup of Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, number 2 in home runs to Cal Raleigh, and Bryce Harper. I mean, that's one of the best 1-2-3s in the game. Facts. Next up is JT Realmuto, 1 for 2 with an RBI. And we need a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. Come on now. All right, baby, let's go. 105, let's get to 125, baby. First pitch, and Realmuto. Back, see ya. Holy hell, we might have just lost right there. 2-run blast, 431 feet. Bryce scores. JT Realmuto with a big clutch 2-run blast. And just like that, 6-4 Philadelphia. And we're going to need a 2-run blast of our own in the 9th or we're game over. Unbelievable. Fucking A, Brash. And again, normally Brash is very good, but as of late, he hasn't been. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's one thing for Bryce to hit it, but for fucking JT, come on, man. Next up is Alec Bohm, especially when we fucking fought back to get it to 4-4, but it shows you how good this Phillies team is at home. They are incredible. I mean, there's a reason why the Cubs, the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Padres don't want anything to do with this team. Fuck. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Bohm. Motherfucking Brash, dude. Your lights out for the first half of the year and then garbage lately. They got 3 home runs. We have none. Can't win unless you homer. And again, how many home runs did the Mariners have today? 0. Hard to win when you don't homer at least once. Fuck! Bottom of the 8th, 6-4 Philadelphia. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Bohm. And again, we have to pray that that's all they score, but now it's 6-4 with no outs. We still got to be able to hold them to just a 2-run lead, and we have to pray for a 2-run or 3-run blast, which is not going to be impossible, but highly unlikely. I mean, unless we get incredibly lucky with the batting order. 3-1 pitch, takes a strike looking. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Bohm. And it shows you that there's peaks and valleys where certain guys, are amazing in the first half of the year, and they're so reliable, and then all of a sudden they shit the bed late. Or they're just not on, and you got to think for bullpen guys, you're sitting there for a couple hours, and even if you get a chance to warm up for 5 minutes, that may not be enough. And it's all about location and speed, and Brash has not really been that great lately after being lights out the first half of the year. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Bohm. Fuck. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Bohm. Yeah, but again, it's a combination of Brash not hitting his spot, and the hitters for the Phillies are insane. If you look at their record, there's not very many teams that have 70-plus wins. Brewers, Dodgers, right? And this team. So, again, it's not like we're playing some bottom feeder team like the Marlins or like the White Sox or the A's. This is a team that could make a World Series and win it. I mean, even though the Dodgers, Padres, Brewers, and Cubs will have something to say about it. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Bohm. He already had his at-bat, but next time around, there's still like 5-6 batters to go. I mean, if we're at Bohm, Bohm's at the 5, Trey's a leadoff hitter at 1. So you still have Marsh, Castellanos, Bader, and Stott. So you still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more guys until you get to Turner again. So 3-2 pitch, fouled off again. Come on, Brash, get him fucking out, you bum. I mean, luckily we got rid of Legomina and Kowar. We sent them to AAA after being dog shit yesterday, but the last thing that we need is our good players to be dog shit. And 3-2 pitch and a fucking walk. Jesus Christ. Oh, what happened to you, Matt? You used to be good. What the fuck is going on? Christ. Next up is left fielder Brandon Marsh. And again, going into the series, it kind of felt like we were only going to win 1 game out of 3. But after that fierce comeback and that meltdown by Orion Kerkering to tie it up at 4, blew it, man. You fucking blew it. But now we still have to pray for a miracle in the top of the 9th that we can get, back-to-back hits, for, some big RBIs, or we get a 2-run blast to tie it. So, and we have been able to do things like that this year, but that might be too much to ask. And it also depends on who's up. Like, do we actually have a home run hitter that could possibly hit a 2-run bomb? We'll find out. First pitch from Brash to Marsh. High and inside, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brandon Marsh. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Brash to Marsh. And we're not really getting any help by the other team with a bunch of walks or guys getting hit. We're not stealing bags. We're not bunting. All the things that we needed to be able to, manufacture, extra base hits, getting guys in scoring position. It's pretty much, you're just doing the basics, and sometimes the basics aren't enough. And we don't even have a home run today. And typically when the Mariners don't have at least a home run, we lose 99% of the time. So if not 100. And Marsh strikes out, and that is 1 away. And we're going to need a double play. We need Castellanos with a slow dribbler right up the middle to J.P. Crawford, throw to Naylor, and we get the fuck out of this inning down by only 2. First pitch in play and popped up, and that is 2 away. At least we'll take that easy out there. And hopefully the last batter in this inning for the Phillies, center fielder Harrison Bader. Brash on the mound. Bader in the box. Man. Can't wait for this fucking road trip to be over with. We should have won 2 out of 3 versus the Orioles, but we had, rain delays and 2 out of 3 games, losses, right? Should have won 2 out of 3 against the Mets. Had a rain delay on the Little League Classic. Only won 1 game against the Orioles, 1 on the Mets, and we're pacing to win only 1, if not getting swept by the Phillies. Not good. And then we have the day off on Thursday. We come back home, thank God, to T-Mobile on Friday and play the A's, but we have to make sure that we bring, everything. We can't play down to the competition, otherwise they'll beat us. Rooker, Butler, Kurtz, Jacob Wilson. I mean, they got some studs over there. Even though they traded Mason Miller away, I mean, they're still good. I mean, the record isn't good, but, they have some good players. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Bader. Bottom of the 8th, 6-4, Phillies lead. Big home run by JT Realmuto with Bryce Harper on base to give them the lead. 1-1 pitch in play, and Bader grounds out to JP, and that is out number 3. All right, here it is. Last opportunity for the Mariners, and let's see if we actually have the right guys up. Leading off for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a run, base on ball, and a K, Dylan Moore. Now, obviously, we know he's terrible. Worst player on the team. The best case scenario, if he gets hit by a pitch, or he gets walked, or maybe, if we're fucking lucky, he gets a single. I don't know if I would, assume that would happen, but, you never know. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, and a base on ball, Randy Arozarena. And we definitely need a single, double, something. We need you to get on base. And then last but not least, maybe the guy that can be the hero, and at least we have a chance. 1 for 2 with a run, 2 walks and a K. He's at home run number 47. If he hits a home run here, if Dylan and Randy get on base, we could end up being up 7-6. But again, or even tying it 6-6 if Dylan or Randy gets on. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And that's why you have Cal Raleigh batting in the 2-hole for situations just like this, instead of Cal batting in the 4-hole, and you don't even get him to get an at-bat late. So that's the main reason that Marine and myself and a few others have mentioned, you don't really have your best player ever really hit 4 or 5 anymore. Most of the time it's 2 and 3 in the order. So that way in this situation, when you're down late, you have that one last chance out of your best player to maybe do something special. That's why Schwarber's in the 2-hole as well. All right, Dylan Moore, don't be a fucking bum, and again, we'll see if we can get something here. But we definitely need to get a hit out of one of these two guys, Dylan or Randy, and then we just have to pray to the sports gods that this happens. And then we can get a 6-6 tie or a 7-6 lead. And they decide to have Luke Raley pinch hit for Dylan Moore. I like that. Okay. Let's see if Luke Raley can do something. Much better than having Dylan Moore. And Luke has been injured and got called up a few days back, but he always hustles. All right, so we're going to have Luke Raley, Randy Arozarena, and Cal Raleigh. So at least we have a chance, based off the batting order. It may not be the best, 3 guys, but not bad. Luke Raley, we'll see what happens. And then it's better than Dylan Moore, right? And then Randy sometimes comes up, and, we know Cal is clutch most of the time. First pitch from Duran to Raley. Low and at the knees, 1-0 count. And we're going to need Duran to have a fucking meltdown here. Can I get a meltdown? 1-0 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Luke Raley. Come on, Luke. Luke, we need a nuke. 1-1 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Duran to Raley. Come on, baby. We get a meltdown, we can come back. Come on, Ems. Top of the 9th, 6-4. Pisses me off that Brash gave up that 2-run blast to Realmuto. That would have never happened at the beginning of the year. But again, Brash, Bizzardo, Spire, Mooney have all been a little shaky lately. 2-1 pitch. And Raley grounds out to first. And that is 1 away. All right, here we go. Probably our last opportunity here. Next up is Randy Arozarena. I put you on the thumb. Don't let me down. Come on, Randy. And then on deck, obviously we know it is big dumper Cal Raleigh. Randy gets a hit. Cal hits a homer. We're tied. Come on, Randy. First pitch from Duran to Randy. Takes a strike looking low and in the zone. 0-1 count. Splitter, 100 miles an hour. Jesus Christ, Duran. What the hell did he eat this morning? Big old bowl of Wheaties. 100? Fuck. Top of the 9th. We're down by 2. Randy in the box. Cal Raleigh on deck. Come on. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Come on, Randy. I mean, even if he gets hit by a pitch, whatever. Get on first. Any means necessary. 0-2 pitch. High and inside. Ooh, that almost hit him. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Duran to Arozarena. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. But at least Kowar and Legomino are no longer on the team. They're on AAA, so we don't have to worry about meltdowns from them. 1-2 pitch, knuckle curve, low and away. Good eye by Randy. Normally that would have been a big swing and a miss and strike 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Top of the 9th, 6-4 Phillies with a JT Realmuto home run in the 8th after we battled back and scored 3 and tied it up 4-4. And Brash fucked all that up, but we're going to have a small percentage chance here to come back. But again, there is a chance. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Duran to Randy. 2-2 pitch, and Arozarena grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, 2 away. Fuck. All right, we're down to our last potential batter unless we can get something here. We got Cal Raleigh on deck, Julio Rodriguez. You can't ask for a better two players on the Mariners to help you come back. We need a solo dinger by Cal, solo dinger by Julio, or a single or double by Cal and a Julio two-run blast. Come on. First pitch to Big Dumper, takes a strike swinging, high and away, 0-1 count. Come on, Cal. And if he homers, that'll be tying the record for 48 by Salvador Perez. He's at 47. Come on, Cal. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. Fucking A. No balls and 2 strikes to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. So they're 1 strike away from victory. Come on, Cal. Single, double, triple, home run, please. Watching Randy hustle to first for the first time in his life was comical, but at least it was effort. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and that is game. Fuck. Well, again, if we didn't give up that big home run late, I think we would have had a very good chance to win this game, maybe in extras. But again, it shows you how important that you need your really good bullpen guys to play well, right? Bizzardo did a good job. Spire did a good job. And then we had Brash and then possibly Mooney, but we never got there. We never got a chance to get Munoz in because Brash lost the game for us. And I'm sick and tired of our good players fucking up. Now, it's one thing if you have Carlos Vargas or Legomina or Kowar fucking up, whatever, you know. But again, when it's one of your best guys, that one hurts. Shout out to JT Realmuto for winning the game for them, but that one hurt, you know, especially when we battled back and scored 3 off Orion Kerkering and tied it up 4-4 late. And now it's obviously a series win for the Philadelphia Phillies, and we will be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, I believe, and Luis Castillo will be on the mound. So I kind of felt that we were only going to win 1 game out of 3, and if we were going to win 2 out of 3, we had to win more than likely game 1, and then we didn't do that. We had to win game 2. We weren't able to do that either, and this is one of the best teams in baseball. It's not going to be easy. So tomorrow we play on MLB Network. It's a global broadcast. It's at 10:05 Pacific, so I'll be live at 10 a.m. Set your alarms. And we got Luis Castillo on the mound versus a very good pitcher in Luzardo, Jesus Luzardo, and he's 11-6 with a 4.21 ERA. Castillo's 8-6 with a 3.48. So as long as Luis doesn't shit the bed and the bats come alive and we actually hit some fucking home runs, we should have a chance. But congratulations, Philadelphia Phillies. Again, we got to be able to put a full game together. But I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do on your way out. And again, final score, Phillies 6, Mariners 4. And I got one question for you. Well, you know Talk Sports Like Us, your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Shout out to All Day for the great job that he's doing as the lead mod. Aussie, Megan, David, Joseph Kim, Legend, and Justin Hall. Shout out to you guys for the dono train as well, and as all the individuals in the room doing what you guys do, supporting the channel all day. Appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. sharp for the finale between the Mariners and the Phillies. And I got one question for you. We know Talk Sports Like Us, your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Trident's up, and I'm out. Go M's.